What is going on, Casually FC? Welcome to the Casually Chelsea show today on a Saturday, because tomorrow is going to be the match review for the Bournemouth-Chelsea game. Ladies and gents, welcome. I'm accompanied here by my panel of Winter Surfer, Oliver, Real Chris, and myself, Marshalldbdx. Before we get this show started, because we have a lot of topics to talk about, be sure to check out the links below to everyone's Twitters, Discord, channel links. All that fun stuff is in the description. Be sure to smash up the like buttons and subscribe. We are on our way to 3K. I think right now we're on 2.23. So 2,230. So let's try to get to 2,250 by the end of the weekend, and we'll be well on our way to 3K. Hit the bell notification so you don't miss out when we do go live, whenever we go live. And also be sure to leave a comment down below, as I do check out the comments and read the comments, and sometimes I engage with you guys, and I like to get into some discussions in there, for lack of a better term. But yeah, guys, be sure to check out the comments below. Let us know what you think about everything that we discussed today on the show. And also, if you're in the chat, be sure to use those emojis if you're a member. If you haven't done so already, check out the membership. 4 different tiers starting at 99p. More perks as well to come with those tiers, so be on the lookout for that as well. I'm going to make the membership more lucrative for you guys who are pretty much day in, day out here every single time we stream. So big up to everyone in the chat and big up to everyone here already. But let's go ahead and get this show on the road, which is the first topic I have for you guys is on Gareth Southgate. So Simon Phillips pretty much here quoting what Rio Ferdinand said on Gareth Southgate starting Harry Maguire over Levi Colwill. You've got Levi Colwill coming through, young player, and I was that young guy once. If there are people in my way who aren't playing in front of me, I'm thinking, right, he obviously doesn't rate me. And if it's only a smidgen of a percent, that's enough to knock you off your game confidence-wise. When you go to England camp, because you're sitting there training and thinking, I know he doesn't rate me because the proof's in the pudding. Yeah, so, you know, I'm not going to sit here and really talk about England and all that stuff because I wasn't watching the international break. I'm not going to talk about the results, but there is a big amount of frustration around Gareth Southgate and why he chose to start and sub in Harry Maguire for the 2 games during international break, when this guy has not played a single game for Manchester United, or started a single game for Manchester United, I should say. He's not been playing. He's been on the bench, and he's just not as good as a Fikayo Tomori that was there, or a Levi Colwill who's been playing out and out football. So it's led a lot of people to be very vocal about it on Twitter. You know, we even have Gareth Southgate pushing back on criticism of Maguire. We have his mother coming out with comments as well, Maguire's mother. So this has been a whole slew of mess. And I mean, considering you guys are from the UK and you're probably more tied to this, interesting to see what your reactions are on Gareth Southgate picking Harry Maguire over, for example, Levi Colwill, who could have been started.
No one's surprised. Gareth Southgate's a clown.
Fair enough.
And to be honest, you're on, Scott.
As long as Harry Maguire still kicks a football, he'll be picked for England. It doesn't actually, no, sorry. As long as he's able to kick a football, he'll be picked for England. It doesn't matter whether he's playing, whether he's not. If he is able to kick a football, he'll be picked.
And I just talk from the perspective of someone who supports England when they play. You know, that is frustrating, but you know, we're all Chelsea fans here. I'm assuming most of us support the club over the country. Mm-hmm. So for us guys, that's absolutely fine. You know, as much as we don't want to deprive Levi Colwill of career opportunities, you know, keeping him off the pitch for England means that he is at less risk of injury. So from a Chelsea point of view, I couldn't care less. And that's all I really have to say on that.
Vic, I don't think it's so much that it's rating Maguire or rating Colwill over Maguire. It's more so that Maguire hasn't been playing and Colwill has. Why would you play? Go ahead, Scott.
He is just better though.
Yeah, I mean, I would say so too. But on the terms of a merit, right? On terms of who deserves to be playing, clearly it should be the guy who has been playing, not the one that's been benched.
I was gonna say, I don't support that shit show of England squad anyway. I never really do. But if you saw even like Maguire's last game as well, that own goal was just awful. Like they can see that as well. Like was it Scotland he played last? Yeah, it was. It's like
Yeah.
Like I can list like obviously like Tamori, obviously Stones, Colwell. Who else is there? Other centre backs as well. Just better than Harry Maguire. Maguire at United this season. Every time he gets subbed on, he's doing an own goal or just like he has a mistake in him. Like every game, it feels like. Right now, where I watch him, like he's always doing mistakes. Like if it's his fault or not. Like yeah, like he's just an awful centre back. Like he's 30 years old. He's getting older now. Like he's almost end of his career. I don't know why Southgate trusts him, but I don't know why Southgate has a job to begin with still, like at England. So, yeah.
Fair enough.
The thing you got to realise, though, is that if this is the hill that Southgate wants to die on, I'm going to play Harry Maguire all the time. He's going to start for me in the next Euros. Then he has to play these games. Like from Southgate's point of view, Harry Maguire has to play these games because he's not playing at United. These are the only minutes he gets. He's currently played more minutes this season for England than for his own club team. So I'm sure that's his point of view, and as much as it sucks as an England fan, that's just the reality of it.
To be honest, just going back to the Chelsea thing, like, I do kind of agree. The only annoyance for me is, like, I just prefer them not to be picked. I just rather Cole just doesn't get picked then. Because then he's in training with Poch during those 2 weeks. He can actually, like, learn, like, there's more training. The likes of Sterling, for example, he's had extra training with the actual team. I'm trying to think who else wasn't picked.
Yeah, that's right. Sterling up.
Jackson as well, he wasn't picked on international duty. I'd rather these guys, if they're not going to play, just don't get picked. I'd rather just don't pick them.
Did he even play minutes, by the way? Whoever watched England, because I don't think I ever saw him get minutes.
Who?
Colwell.
No.
There was like four or five dudes in that England team who were there just for training. They didn't. The
only centre backs that played were Dunk, Gurhey, and Maguire. Those are the only ones that played. Gurhey started both games, and then Dunk Maguire started one and the other.
I just don't get it. Like, what kind of 4D, 5D chess is he trying to play at where he's not playing? He's playing like, well, there's the Foden situation too, where he didn't play Foden because he didn't. What was the quote? If Guardiola's playing him at the left wing, it's probably for a reason.
He doesn't play him as an 8 for his club, so there must be a reason for that.
It's so bizarre.
Well, that's all well and good. I was going to say Marshall, but I don't think that Maddison plays left wing for his club, and I don't think Bellingham plays left wing for his club.
Maguire doesn't play for his club, period.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, not only that, but like you even have Bellingham, right? Bellingham was called up. Bellingham's been seeing such a success over at Real Madrid because you have Ancelotti, who figured out a way to play him and get a tune out of him that I don't think any of us really expected.
He's been playing at the tip of a 4-4-2 diamond, I believe.
Yeah, which that's great, but this manager that you guys have just it just doesn't.
No, England I just can't for 10 years if they want.
I just can't wrap my head around it. It's very confusing to me, guys. So
hey, you got to include Henderson.
He was supposed to, well, he said he was not gonna. Well, maybe he didn't say this, but the rumors were that he was going to leave the England job after the World Cup. Now he's saying he's going to leave after the Euros. And do you guys even believe that?
I don't care.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, he needs to be sacked. Yeah, I would say so. It's not good, but I mean, as long as he gets results, they're still going to keep him at a job. But yeah, it's a very interesting little tidbit that I wanted to throw in there for today's show regarding a Chelsea player. But another little bit regarding a Chelsea player, a former Chelsea player, is, and I'm sure you guys have heard this, there's been a little bit of a drama going on between Terry and Matt Law. And listen, Matt Law has always been a little bit problematic when it comes to Chelsea and Chelsea news. He is seen as reliable, but I think all this kind of makes it a lot more questionable now. At least I question his reliability now a lot more. So, original tweet right here from Matt Law: an evening with John Terry, 25 to 30 pound a ticket, or 100 pounds an autograph, and 500 for dinner with him. Tickets available. Makes it seem that Terry is just trying to make money from buying, selling tickets and doing autographs and dinners with fans, which obviously is a little distasteful considering he's a professional footballer. He has all the money in the world. It just makes him look bad. It's a bad image. He gets called out for it, by the way. And then his response is John Terry has now said all proceeds from his tour will go to his charitable foundation. Also said he did not want to publicize the fact that it was all for charity until now. No apology, no nothing. Just being a shameless journalist as is expected from Matt Law. I have the video that I wanted to watch, which is Terry's response. So let me go ahead and get that loaded up for you guys so that we can listen to the audio while we watch it. And let me just do this right here. Right there. This should work. Okay, cool. Let's see what Terry had to say in response to all this.
Hi guys, just wanted to touch on the stories that the press are writing about me charging fans £100 for signatures and photos or drinks or whatever that may be. The big thing, and this is very important, the big thing they forgot to mention, is that all proceeds from these events that I've been doing, and the only reason I signed up is to raise money for my foundation, for the John Terry 26 Foundation. I set my foundation up about 7-8 months ago. I wanted to do something personal and on my own, where I'm going to be eventually hosting like a gala dinner, golf events throughout the year, any opportunities to raise money for my foundation, where I've been working very closely with various different charities over the last 22 years, being Chelsea captain and seeing a lot of terminal and ill and sick children along the way, which is something that's always been very close to my heart and always will be. So rather doing it for one specific charity, I've been focusing on my own in the last 6-7 months. And this tour that I'm doing and Q&A that I'm doing is part of that. But like I said, the key thing that the press have forgotten to written, that all proceeds from this event, and again, I didn't want this publicized when I agreed this with the guys, because I don't think it's right for me to publicize that, but now they've raised the issue, I will address it. So every penny from these events go towards my John Terry 26 Foundation. I apologize for coming out probably a day or 2 days late, but again, I'm going to touch on why I didn't touch on this yesterday, because again, I was at another charity day working for BGC in London, with obviously the very sad news of the World Trade Centers, and something that I've done for the last 5 or 6 years, and I'll continue to do. But again, giving up my time, giving up my day for all these charities is something that's very important to me, and I'll never stop that. So it's really frustrating for me, actually, and I'm just fed up with the press writing shit over and over.
I mean, there you go. And as you should be. I mean, it is absolutely frustrating when you're trying to do something charitable and it gets twisted like this just for clicks. He did respond to the tweet, which I'll load up right now. But I mean, any opinions on this, guys? Outside of the,
I was gonna say, yeah, like I like when because like you see like loads of footballers always like doing this charity thing, but like posting about it and everything, that said, look how good I am. Like he wanted to keep this on the low and obviously not show it, and then you see journalists just pull it out there, so he's gonna have to say, yeah, it's for charity. I never believe like why would John Terry really want like $25-$30 like off people, or £500 of whoever wants dinner with him. It's probably clearly for charity as well. Yeah, like he doesn't need the money. He's set for life. The guy is like he does other things as well. Like probably gets paid for as well, like in management or whatever.
Yeah, and he even responded to the original tweet. Didn't fancy checking this with my representatives first or the organizer. Interesting that, because then you wouldn't have had a story you wanted, and writing I'm donating all proceeds to charity wouldn't work for you or the paper. Calls him out, as he should. And I think this makes Matt Law look very bad, in my opinion.
I mean, all I'm going to say is what you said earlier about his reliability, that doesn't come into it. Because Matt Law is still, whatever you think about him and the way he stirs, because he does stir. He stirred here. He stirred with the Rudiger situation. He's done it plenty of times. He is often correct with what he says. He's still a very reliable source of news. So you just got to kind of read between the lines and kind of see which bits of it is an opinion take and which bit of it is like genuine news about the club. And yeah, we're not learning anything new about Matt Law here. We know what his game is. We've known it for years.
Yeah,
Fair
I
enough.
was gonna say, yeah, like he's probably right about the prices and everything. He probably knows that, like, obviously 'cause he's seen it, but he doesn't know if it's going to John Terry or charity because it's like hidden, and John Terry has to address it now.
I mean,
because
this is the thing, Chris. This is the thing, Chris. He is correct in what he said in that tweet and in that headline, but he's written it in a way that suggests something. If you know what I mean.
Yeah,
And that's what he does.
Yeah, clicks.
That's what I mean, though. Like, okay, so you brought up the Rudiger example, which I think is a perfect example. Like, you see how he like puts things in a certain light. It makes me think that like that Rudiger situation. I've always kind of had my hesitancy on that Rudiger situation when Lampard got sacked. It makes me think more so that Rudiger probably wasn't being a bully. He was probably just crazy and aggressive, like he is, and you know, he twisted it in a way to make it seem like Rudiger was harassing players, the younger players in the team. And I mean, till this day, I don't think I've really seen anyone since Rudiger has left, or even in Rudiger's time after that article, complain or come out anything about how Rudiger is a bad person or whatever. You know,
Didn't Tammy Abraham literally came out on social media and muddied the whole thing?
Well, yeah, I thought that was
time
a
he
little
did.
PR. I'm sure that was a little bit of PR.
Odoi did as well. I think there were a couple of guys that like, because was it Hudson Odoi? I think posted a picture on his Instagram.
I wouldn't be surprised. They're very close, Hudson Odoi and Rudiger.
Yeah, I swear he posted a picture on his Insta of him hugging Rudiger, being like, "Oh yeah, he's like," with like a sarcastic comment about, "Yeah, he's definitely a bully" or something. Like, I swear he posted something as well. I think there was a couple guys that did.
Yeah, it just like, again, it just makes you think like, where are you coming from with this Matt Law going forward with like the news? Like even now, like we saw the news about and we're gonna talk about it, the Exiled Players, which he touted as well. He there's a tweet, I think I have it in the show, where he's basically coming out and saying like these players are exiled and all this and that, when maybe the reality is just if they're not actually exiled, they're potentially going to be up for sale, and we're going to see what happens with these players. But again, it makes you question like, okay, where is he coming from with this? Like, what's the true story? And is the motive that he is putting a spotlight on actually the true motive? So that's what I have to say. Any other 2 cents you guys want to add on to the Matt Law story before we move on?
Great journalist. Oh,
Scott. I mean, he is a piece of shit. I don't know why we don't go with someone else that wants to report Chelsea news. I'm sure there's other journalists.
In 6 months' time, there'll be a story about Terry written by this guy, and Terry won't say anything about it because it would be a fake.
Oh.
It's swings and
There's a story.
roundabouts.
Scott's
They use
getting it.
each other. They use each other for whatever. CD, rubbish, stuff like that.
Yeah, it's just this is kind of disgusting behavior to see. But at the end of the day, like, I understand he has a quota as a journalist, and it's slow news week, so you got to get something. But again, I don't respect it. I don't like it. Let's go on to the next topic, which is, guys, we got some new kits. We got some new kits that have come out, and we got a new kit that got leaked. So let's start off with the leaked kit. All right. So right here,
leaked kit for 26.
Leaked kit for 2024, 2025.
You have to leak kit for 4 years' time. Is that what you said?
Well, we saw a leak kit for like next year's, and I said I was in the leak kit.
Yeah, this is the one for next year.
What the hell was that?
Why don't you concentrate on your draft fantasy team before you copy?
Hey, that's the Titanic right there. That's the Titanic. I'm trying to save it, but more water's coming in.
Yeah,
you should nickname your team the Titanic, bro. That's what you should call it.
Yeah,
you nickname the team.
That kit is awful. Like, what the fuck is that? Wait, what? I can barely hear that. That's for once.
Oh, is it low?
Oh yeah,
that was low, man. Yeah.
I'm surprised.
I had to lower it because it was really loud. I'll fix it. But anyways, next year's away colors are leaked. The next Chelsea 2024-2025 away jersey brings back the fans' popular orange color. Popular? Okay, I don't know. The 2024-2025 away kit is mainly light beige, guava ice, combined with a tangerine orange and blue. So, initial thoughts, I'm not a fan of the beige. maybe if this was white and orange, I would probably like it a little more. But I do like the design of it. I think the design is really cool.
Why can't we just have a black one? I don't know why every season we just can't have a black one with whatever else, like little. Remember the black one with the orange piping or the thing that I like?
Oh, that was one of the nicest kits I've seen, man.
It's just so sick. They're so simple. You can never go wrong with a pure black kit. You know what I mean? I don't understand. It's so simple, and you have to put these fancy doodah colours in. Popular orange. What are you talking about? Popular orange.
I was going to say, we've only ever had orange as a trim, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yellow's more popular for Chelsea over orange. Yellow's more popular.
I think the origin of this one is that it was the first kit, the first away kit was orange. The first ever Chelsea first away kit, I believe.
I can't remember.
I mean, Marshall, there aren't colour photographs of our first away kit.
Well, that's the thing. Like, maybe the color correctors fucked it up. Who knows? They're like, hey, I swear this is an orange when we fixed it.
Hang on. With new digital stuff now, I could put Chris's head on top of a donkey. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if it's orange or not. You know what I mean? So,
you know what, Andrew? What you're saying about a black kit? I would love it. Set the black kit with golden badge and have the shiny badge. Yeah. I would love that. That would be amazing. Golden numbers at the back as well.
Golden, that shiny badge. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Black. I seen a design where fans make it. It looked amazing, and we just pull out garbage like this. This is garbage, Marshall. So
you guys remember?
We've had goalkeeper kits that were orange, but not like the. Do you know what I mean? Like the only real one that I remember really orange was that Coors grey kit, which is disgusting. I'm Coors one about.
Well, the one we got beat by Bournemouth 4-0 in, right? That one.
Oh no! That was it was in the late 90s. It was.
Never mind. Okay.
Yeah. That was disgusting. It was grey and orange. Bloody hell.
Well, we do also have our alternative kits that have released, which look like this.
Yeah,
this is I believe this is the training.
The last one, but
match. Yeah, the match one looks nice.
I'm not a big fan of the color, but it's okay.
Okay.
I don't mind the color. So I think it's all right. I definitely wear the training shirt.
Yeah, the training. I like the training shirt with the black sleeves. I think that looks really cool. I know we have more.
I would never wear that jacket though. I would never wear that jacket in public. No.
I mean, I think this looks nice, guys. I'm not gonna lie.
Wait, what is that? Pajamas?
No, not the pajamas. The kit. The kit worn by the players.
The guys wearing pajamas looks like the kit. The kit, the kit looks.
The goalkeeper kit's cool.
Oh, is that the goalkeeper design? Right, yeah. Oh, yeah, I don't want that
cool
one.
Little like.
It's a decent kit. I don't know if I get this kit because I've already bought the home one. The home one's nice. I don't know which one to get next. This is the third kit, right?
Yeah, this was the third kit, and it should be.
The away kit is the second kit is like that black and blue one, right?
Yeah.
We're wearing this tomorrow, by the way.
Yeah, I heard.
Are we? Maybe we can start off positive with this kit, you know? New Chelsea.
I would like to see with the numbers in the back too.
Then again, the last time we debuted a third kit, we lost 4-1 to Brighton. So just putting it out there, man. Yeah, I know. I'm not going to talk about it again. Nah.
But I think these kits are pretty neat. Well, I'm gonna look forward to seeing them with the black lettering in the back. Andrew, your thoughts on this kit? You like it? The mint kits.
I don't really like green kits. That's why when I play pro clubs, I always make sure the opposition doesn't play in green. Just for the
mint green.
Mint green. I don't like mint. No, I don't like any kit that's not away kit that's not black.
Oh, fair enough.
I don't like this.
Fair enough.
Don't get used to it. It'll change next summer. I don't know why we're going to get used to it. We'll get new free kits next summer, won't we?
Maybe this is gonna be our good luck kit, Andrew. Like
hopefully.
We're gonna play it tomorrow. New
hey,
kit.
Listen, I like this better than that Crystal Palace kit that we had. That Crystal Palace kit.
Oh yeah, anything's better than that. Yeah.
Yeah, that Crystal Palace kit was gross.
Oh, I
don't know about that. Yeah, well, you probably don't like it, do you?
I barely wear it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
You'll wear this one more often.
I probably won't buy it.
Oh, well, we'll see. But yeah, these are the kits. They look pretty. I think they look pretty cool. Not my favorite, but I think they look nice. There you go. There you go. We'll meet in the middle. But all right, let's go on to the next topic. That I don't know if you guys remember, but we are trying to start a nice little football member network of clubs, a multi-club model, right? So we've got some news about that. So PYS here basically reporting that there are serious plans for Chelsea to acquire minority stake in Sporting. He's not reporting it. He's just quoting Sam Wallace from the Telegraph, who's reporting it, I should say. Correction. Then another tweet right here. The consortium led by Begovich Rant and Todd Boehly may yet acquire a stake in Sporting Club football. There are serious plans, again, reiterating what was in the last tweet. And then update from yesterday. Sporting CP are not interested in being acquired by Chelsea. No opening for talks with Todd Boehly. Now, the way I read this is that it's not saying the before it was like a partial stake, not necessarily being acquired by Chelsea. So this leads me to believe that there is an open door where Chelsea could have a minority stake in this club, and still not take full control of Sporting, like we kind of did with like we basically did with Strasbourg.
Yeah. Difference with Strasbourg is that was a majority stake, so that's the distinction you've got to make between these two situations.
Exactly. So Sporting saying they're not interested in being acquired by Chelsea doesn't necessarily mean that they're not gonna give Chelsea a minority stake, I would say.
I don't see us wanting a minority stake and not having control over everything. I just don't see that. Remember that the reports when it started for Strasbourg that were, what was it? We were only taking like a 40% or something like that, or not acquiring full, and then later reports came out and said we acquired basically we took over. So I don't see them not wanting to have full control and not having to bow to decisions. I just don't see the minority. The minority thing doesn't make any sense. Why would you take a minority stake and do what? Because you have all your decisions. What if you might not get to decide everything? So and you're having to kowtow, or you're having to persuade others, and I just don't see them doing that. If they want a multi-club thing, then why they want to take over 100% of the club, right? And this this report says acquire, which would mean to me translate that they don't want to be taken over by the Blue Co group.
The only thing I can think about in terms of like why it would be a minority stake is that maybe it could be a way around conflict of interest when we're both back in the when Chelsea's back in the Champions League. You got Sporting here, who are a big club in Portugal. They're in the Champions League, so getting around conflict of interest in that way, because you can't have like two clubs owned by the same person in the Champions League. So that might be a thing.
The only thing that goes against that would be Salzburg and Leipzig, right?
I guess, but
the Red Bull, they're owned by the Red Bull group. I don't know if it's different.
I mean, maybe the 50+1 rule gets in the way of that because the fans own Leipzig technically. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe I don't know.
They're majority owners, but yeah.
We can't buy Benfica instead. Benfica are too successful. They don't need to sell the players for like £100 million a pop, so they don't need to be taken over. Do you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, and on top of that, I will say, like, I'm more inclined to believe that Chelsea if they want to buy a Portuguese club, they're probably going to buy a smaller one. I don't see any of these big.
Lisbon would be cheaper than Benfica.
And not even Lisbon. Like, there was another club that we were linked with not too long ago.
Rio Ave,
something like that. Yeah, they had a really funky logo, but it's all I remember. But like, I could see them going for a smaller club, like a Strasbourg. Like, I know Strasbourg isn't necessarily small, but like, they're mid-table, I want to say, right? Like a mid-table French club, or
mid to lower table.
On the lower end of mid-table,
yeah. So I could see them doing that for a team in Liga Noche. So I don't see Sporting being one. I don't see any club of the size of Sporting wanting to give up their ownership to Blue Cow. Doesn't make sense to me. I feel like the smaller clubs are going to be more reasonable.
Yeah, I agree.
Or like with buying Braga. Was Braga the team? I don't think it's Braga.
Oh, I can't remember. I remember Rio Ave and then
Lisbon
Sporting.
is the big. It's
Lisbon.
Lisbon, not Benfica. I'm sorry. Benfica is the no, Benfica is the Portuguese club.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's Benfica, Sporting, Porto, and Lisbon are like big clubs in Liga NOS. They're like the top four. I'm pretty sure.
They have more chance of buying Porto than Benfica with their finances. Porto's financial trouble. You know
Maybe we
what
could buy
Right,
Barcelona
Porto's-
with their finances.
I mean? Yeah, why don't we just buy Barcelona? Yeah, exactly. Let's buy Barcelona.
Like they're selling grass out there, man.
days.
Like we may as well
More
go
chance
for
of
that.
buying.
Selling grass, Jesus.
Yeah,
I
they are. They are.
don't give people ideas, man. They're looking for a way to get Felix back after his performance today. So you know.
Good Lord.
They want Sporting so they can provide a unique opportunity for loans to play in Champions League. Maybe. I just feel like you're better off just buying a smaller club and doing what you're doing with Strasbourg and, you know, developing it to be one of the competitive teams for Champions League or Europa League. You know, makes more sense to me.
I was gonna say it'd be pretty good actually get a Portuguese team because they seem to scout some good players over there, like for cheap, and maybe if we own.
Well, that's the thing. Is that even true, or is that true of
No, they have great talents.
Benfica?
No, just like a lot of the clubs like just seem to have like good players come through like for cheap.
I mean,
and then they sell them at a good price.
Porto have made some pretty good players recently. You know, that Luis Diaz was bought by Liverpool from them. Diogo Jota is like the talk of the town as like one of the next goalkeepers
Bruno
that
as
could
well,
go for a lot of money.
Portuguese
Oh
team.
yeah, Bruno Fernandes came from Sporting.
Enzo obviously came to us.
Yeah, but that's why I'm asking. Like, I don't see like, is there talent coming out of any academy outside of that top four?
I think Benfica's academy is like the big one.
Yeah,
I think they're because we got Moreira from there, and I know he hasn't shown much yet, but like he was highly rated over there.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we'll see what happens in the long run. I do think another club in a multi-club model would be good. I would be interested to see if we do anything in Africa, if we do anything in any other nation, U.S. as well. I mean, we are getting some. We have gotten a few talents from the U.S. and now we're seeing what we're doing in South America. It would be interesting to see if we do something in Brazil as well.
I reckon that'll be the next step. There were some reports a few months ago.
Yeah, I after I said that, I kind of remember that now. But all right. So Oliver, you had some choice words you wanted to say about this. So let's go on to the next topic, and we're gonna watch the rant, and then we're gonna react to it. So this is a little bit of a Casually FC reacts combined with the Casually Chelsea show stream today. So let's go ahead and get this up on the screen and see what Begovich has to say about Chelsea's current state of affairs.
Oh, I don't hear it.
Yeah, no volume.
No volume?
No,
All right, give me 1 second.
it's all right.
Oh, I did it wrong. That's why.
You just Begovic is just saying what Jobber says, right? As I remember, I think so.
He goes into a bit more detail, I'd say.
yeah. Let's see. Do you guys hear it now?
I honestly,
Yes.
in the last 12 months, what has happened with Chelsea Football Club? It just beggars all belief. I mean, the squad of players at Pochettino's disposal, and the amount of money spent, is 12th in the league. It's 12th. It's mid table. It is literally mid table. I mean, if they were any higher, he would be working miracles. You have a bit of luck with Nkunku. I get it. He's a top player. Cole Palmer has only just come in. But what is going on? I mean, what is going on with the recruitment of these players? Why is Chelsea Football Club rebuilding? Why is Chelsea Football Club in a transition? This is one of the best. I mean, I've been there. I was proud to have been there. It's one of the best locations to play football in the world. What is going on with this, with everything at this football club? It's like, I remember being with players in dressing room, like world class, buying from Barcelona, buying from Real Madrid, buying from Bayern Munich. It's like buying from Brighton and potential players. And I get you need a part of that, but where is like the top world class players at Chelsea? I mean, Chelsea fans expect the best, expect to be challenging for trophies. I don't see Man City rebuilding. I mean, when I was there, Alex, we've talked about this before. I mean, Chelsea was the standard. It was from top to bottom. I mean, Roman had Marina. This was the standard. I mean, the first team squad was a joke. I mean, the standard of players was unbelievable. Then the 23s development squad, when they used to come train with, I mean, some of those players, what they've become now was unbelievable. And then not to mention the academy below that. But what is going on? I think we can talk about an attacking or not attacking. These players at this disposal, it's a mid-table squad. I mean, this is not Chelsea Football Club. I don't understand. I just don't see Man City rebuilding. Even if like they're rebuilding, they're like 5th, 6th at worst, which is that's not even good enough, nowhere near. But I mean, I'm lost for words, really. I have no idea what's happened in the last 12 months. It feels like it's all a bit of a blur. And yeah, that's just my opinion. There's my rant. So I mean, for the football club that I know and what it was, what it should be, with the fan base, with the stadium, with Central London, I mean, this is a world-class organization, but has been anything but for the last 12 months. So it's not the Chelsea I remember, that's for sure.
Oliver, I'll let you open this up, man.
Oh, let me go, please. I've got so much to say about this guy.
Let Oliver go because he did ask me offline, and I'll let you go. Winter Surfer.
Feel free to interject, Andrew, by the way. So, we're talking about the last 12 months, and fair enough, it's been a shambles. None of us have held back on that. It's been disgraceful. We had to sit through all that last season. Why don't we talk about the last 6 years? Because 6 years ago was the last time we won a Premier League title, and 5 of those 6 years were under Roman. So that's one thing. I can understand his reservations about the squad, because a lot of what we've been saying is like, oh yeah, there is a lot of uncertainty here, and that is true. And granted, whilst we've criticised the manager, there is still questions to be asked about the squad. In terms of player, he was saying we buy players from Real Madrid and Bayern Munich. Let me just go through some of our best ever players. Frank Lampard was bought from West Ham. Eden Hazard was bought from Lille. Azpilicueta was bought from Marseille. I don't see many of these big clubs here. The only ones I can argue are Pedro and Fabregas. It's just flawed. It's another one of these where it's just it's all like Roman revisionism. That's literally what it is. Boils my blood. As much as I love Roman, you can't ignore the direction the club was going in his last 5 years, and he's doing that, and I have a problem with that, and more people should as well.
Ooh, okay, so let me go back to his standards comment about finishing 12th and about signing players from Brighton and being world-class players. You got signed from Stoke. Got signed from Stoke. Yeah, you got signed from Stoke. And by the way, the season you signed, I'm not blaming you. We finished 10th. Yeah, we finished 10th.
Let's have it
season.
right.
Yeah, 10th that season. Okay, so this whole, and also this fallacy, and Oliver touched on it. Oh, we were buying players from Real Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern Munich. We have never bought a player from Bayern Munich at all. But Michael Ballack was a free transfer. Okay, we bought Real Madrid. The only starter we've ever bought from Real Madrid is Makelele. Okay, and we bought Pedro and Fabregas when Barcelona wanted to sell them. Okay, we have never gone to any one of those 3 clubs and bought a first team player that those clubs didn't want to sell. Okay, Kovacic was on the bench before anyone says Kovacic. Okay, on the bench, he was a squad player. We haven't gone there and bought a Luka Modric or an Iniesta or something like that. Okay, you want to go about standards? Can I just say, everyone goes on about the 17-18 window, the 2021 window, all the transfer windows before that. Go back to the 15-16 window and take Pedro off of that list. That window is a disgrace. Michael Hector and Ugochukwu, whatever his effing name is.
God,
Oh, my.
Kennedy was signed in that window as well. Baba Rahman was signed in that window as well. That might go to
That only doesn't go down as the worst window because Pedro signed. And that was after we won the league and League Cup that season. So this whole fallacy of, oh yeah, we used to buy players, absolute rubbish. We used to buy all these players from Bayern Munich. We've never done that. We have never done that at all. You know what I mean? Oh we bought Fernando Torres 50 million. We bought down a broken down Fernando Torres because it was a ego trip buy for the owner. That's all it was. Same as Shevchenko. We bought Shevchenko because it was an ego boosting signing for the owner. Okay? So let's get the record straight. And the revisionist history of Chelsea Football Club and Roman Abramovich needs to stop. We have not acted like a big club in the transfer market properly since the 14-15 window, when we bought the added touch to make that a great side. A Fabregas, Costa, and you bought Courtois back and added that Felipe Luis to squad depth. Okay? We haven't done that. And this whole thing about how it's like sunshine and rainbows when Roman Abramovich was in charge. After the 16-17 window, our league performances have been utter trash. Okay? 17-18 finished 5th. 18-19 we finished 3rd. Yeah? That's because Arsenal and Manchester United bottled it. Okay? Absolutely bottled it. That's why we finished that. That's why we went so hard in the Europa League. Because we didn't think we were going to finish in the top 4. 19-20, yeah, 4th. But some of the worst football we've ever seen.
Lowest points total for 4th as well in that season.
Lowest total. 2021 finished 4th because Spurs beat Leicester in the last day of the season. Won the Champions League, fine. 21-22 was 3rd with over a double-digit lead over both Spurs and Arsenal, but only confirmed 3rd 2 games from the end. Got it down to
1 point ahead Spurs, I think.
Yeah, 1 or 2 points ahead finished in the end. And last season, so this whole thing about somehow we've been great the last 9 years or 6 years or something like that is absolute trash. It's the same thing that people go, oh man, we're going to Bournemouth, we've got a terrible record. We've only lost only 1 game in the 6 visits we've been there. We've won 4 and drawn 1 and lost 1. It's the home record that people forget, that we're like a mixed bag with Bournemouth. Away, we're pretty good away at Bournemouth. We won there last season under Frank Lampard, so that should tell you what the record's like at Bournemouth if we're getting a win under Frank Lampard in our worst run in our history, in our Premier League history. So this whole thing needs to stop. This revisionist history that everything was so good under Roman Abramovich, it just needs to stop. The reason we should have more leagues and more Champions Leagues is because of the previous ownership before and their failure to build on our success and their transfer market strategy and butting in and not letting Jose Mourinho have what he wants when he got back-to-back trophies for us, league trophies for us. The reason we should be one of the clubs that have said we've won 3 in a row is because of Roman Abramovich interfering that summer in 06-07 when he bought Shevchenko in and didn't back Mourinho properly and bought Khalid Boularus as a centre-back replacement for William Gallas. All right? This is not my club. No, it's not been our club since the summer of 2017. It's not been our club at all. It's not Chelsea, and that was under the previous ownership. So let's not honestly, people's memories, goldfish have better memories than Chelsea fans. I'm telling you right now. They have better memories. I tell you, honestly. And Begovich, dude, self-awareness. Oh, we're buying, like I said before, we're buying people from Brighton. We bought you from Stoke.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
If Chelsea only thought about that, we would never have been at Chelsea if we looked at like teams like Stoke.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. Take a look at yourself. Oh, yeah. Those world-class players. You're right. Yeah, we bought Danny Drinkwater in and Zappa Costa. Yeah, those world-class players.
The worst transfer window I've ever seen, man. That's the worst transfer window.
Yeah, exactly. One of the worst, yeah.
But we didn't. But we didn't need to rebuild the squad, did we?
I forgot. City haven't rebuilt at all. They've used the same players for the last 15 years.
Thank you. I was going to bring that up.
Yeah, you know what I mean, like they haven't done this
I'm
season.
pretty sure
they haven't rebuilt this system.
They're starting to look
this season by getting.
If I remember correctly,
Nunes, Doku.
The year they got
Vardy.
taken over, they got what? Robinho. They went through all these players and didn't find success until way later.
They rebuilt in 17. They rebuilt in a 17-18 window, replacing all their fullbacks and the goalkeeper, centre backs, stuff like that. It's like every team rebuilds. I don't get this like thing. The problem is it's how you rebuild. You only rebuild when you've been lacking and been slow in other areas. The reason City really don't have to rebuild that much is because they know when to replace players or bring players in because they have a succession plan. They did it with Fernandinho. They had Rodri in there for 1 or 2 years. Then he slowly takes over the role and stuff like that. They've got Vardy in there now, so it's like, and they've got Doku there. It's just this whole thing about us, about how good we are and stuff like that. No, City are the best team and the best run team in the world. They took what was good from us when we first started, repeated that, and didn't repeat the mistakes that we made. And it's showing. It's absolutely showing. So please, just don't. It's not puppy dogs and fairy tales. You know what I mean? It's all bullshit. That's what it is.
I do gotta remind you, Ange Postafroglu over here. We under Roman, Hakimi chose PSG over us.
No,
like
that was
Ugarte.
his wife. That was his wife. As well.
Wife chose Paris.
His wife chose Paris. Come on, happy wife, happy life. That's the rule.
Exactly.
I guess. I
And
mean,
he's got-
now
and he
look at
got
where
kids
now
as
look at where the
well.
wife is.
But we never put. Let me just say this: we inquired about Hakimi. No formal, unofficial or official bid was put in. It was just inquiring. That was all.
I'm pretty sure we've lost multiple players to PSG.
Can I just say this?
Too,
Not even just PSG. We've lost multiple players to multiple teams before, but like, this whole Begovich thing is a bunch of bullshit. I saw the tweet. There's a tweet out there of like listing all the players that we'd bought that were in our team that season. Like, you take out Fabregas, Pedro, and Costa. There's not a single. I don't think there was a single player in the first team we bought that was from a quote unquote world class club. We bought like Czech from Rennes. Terry was obviously academy. Ivanovic was some random Russian team. It wasn't even one of the good ones. It was a random one. You had Cahill from Bolton. I'm trying to remember the other guys we had in our team that year. Hazard obviously came from Lille.
Aspie from a random French.
William from Shakhtar.
Aspie came from Marseille. Willian came from wasn't even Shakhtar. We bought him from Angie.
Oh, fair enough then.
Yeah.
Victor Moses from Wigan.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, I think we signed some great players still. Like, signing Gusto for 20 million is a great backup. Signing Badiashile for 30 million from the French league, I think, is a great signing. I was going to get to midfield, like Enzo, like Caicedo, is normally a good midfield. He's doing all right for us. Lavia for like 50 million, Jackson for 30 million. The wingers is a bit of a rocky talk, but except for Sterling, I think Sterling's a great player as well. Like for 45 million, I think it's a great deal. And Cuckoo as well for 50-something million. We snatched it up like the buyout clause, before anyone else can get him. Like,
but Chris, sorry. Asmir Begovic doesn't know who Nicholas Jackson is, even though every name striker we bought except like Costa and Drogba they've been flops.
Yeah, we bought many flop strikers before, and like buying Jackson for 8 million is great.
I hate this idea of like this name striker, this name player bullshit. It still permeates in this sport, and I hate it. Like, go and look at what Ange's doing as a manager. Go and look at what De Zerbi's doing as a manager. These are guys who managed in the Japanese league and the Ukrainian league, respectively. Go and look at what Mitoma's doing. Go and look at what Adingra is doing since he's come into that Brighton team. That's two guys from USG in Belgium. Like, they're not even the best Belgian team either. Like, you've got guys coming in like Doku came in from Rennes, goes into that City team, immediately makes an impact. Like, I hate this narrative that it's fans, it's pundits, it's players, like this narrative that you have to have a name value to have anything, or you have to come from a name club. Like, it means fuck all. If you're good, you're good. It doesn't matter whether you're playing for Atletico Madrid or whether you're playing for Atletico Kolkata. Like, if you're good, you're good.
By the way, City, City, best run team in the world. Let's mention all the players they bought from Bayern, Barca, and Real Madrid over the years. Oh no, wait, no, they paid £100 million for an Aston Villa winger. Yeah,
They paid 60 million for a Rennes winger. They paid 60 million for a Wolves midfielder. They paid 40 million for a Bournemouth defender. Yeah,
Ruben Diaz from Benfica as well.
I was going to say their best team. I'm going through it in my head right now. Their best team doesn't contain a single player from what you would consider a world-class team in terms of the very elite level.
Isn't the only one since Pep's been there, and the only one like Claudio Bravo from Barcelona? But look how well that went.
I was going to say you've got Edison Benfica, Diaz Benfica, Ake Bournemouth, Akanji Dortmund. You've got Walker came from Tottenham. You've got Kovacic came from us, but most of our fans wanted him gone anyway, or half the fan base wanted him gone. Nunez from Wolves, De Bruyne from Wolfsburg, Rodri from Atletico Madrid. You got Doku from Rennes. You got Haaland Dortmund, and you got Bernardo Silva from Monaco.
Yeah, and I will say too, like Frog. Sometimes I can't tell if you're trolling. If Roman was afford the luxury to spend $1 billion like these owners did guarantee, like, okay,
He was. That's
hold on. I will say that if Roman was never banned from the UK, I think business would have gone differently. But I can't tell you how many transfer windows we've sat here on the show actually and talked about how it seems like Marina and Roman are penny pinching for players. I'm pretty sure had Todd Boehly had taken over a season before the Lukaku one, we probably would have put in all that money for Haaland, and we probably would have gotten Haaland just right off the cuff.
Maybe Can I ask you a question?
Say this right now. Hang on. Let me just say this right now. Due to inflation and stuff like that, his first few summers, he was spending probably equivalent of about 400 million, 500 million pounds a summer. Due to inflation and stuff like that. That first summer, I think we bought in 13 players, something like that. Jeez, we were signing two. I remember one day we signed Veron, and then 6 hours later we signed Joe Cole on the same day. Yeah. Now, whatever you think about Veron, it didn't work out. That's fine, but that's what we were doing. We signed Hernan Crespo and Claude Makélélé that summer. Whatever you think about him, sniff, sniff. But it's one of those things. He spent the equivalent of that. Someone continue. I'm just going to bring up what we spent that summer. I'm just going to look at my.
I was going to ask, what year? Just Marshall, going off what you said. What year or when was Abramovich banned from the country?
It was like 2018-ish. Yeah. 17, around that.
2018. Perfect. We get to speak about Andrew's favourite ever transfer window then.
It's not the drink water one, is it?
Nope. Does anyone want to look at the 2015-16 transfer window that we had?
Oh my god, I'm going to look at it right now.
Bad, he literally, Scott, he went over it in his rant about Begovich.
He went over it. Perfect.
Michael Hector, these man.
Okay, so here we go. Here we go. I'll bring it up. So okay. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes.
Hello.
Loud and clear.
Okay.
The floor is yours.
So we spent. What did we spend? Spent the equivalent of, which is quite cheap. Remember, we spent £96.5 million. I think.
Holy shit!
We spent. Sorry, what's that again?
No. Back then.
I think back then we spent €96.5 million according to Transfer Market. So
in one window.
So, in one window, yeah. In one window. We took in 87. We took in 87.5 million. So, okay. So let's say it's a huge expenditure. 27. So remember, this is before the Neymar PSG and Barcelona ruined the window for everyone.
Before Pogba as well.
Yeah, for Pogba. So Pedro was bought for €27 million. Okay, so that's the massive one. Yeah. Then Baba Rahman was bought for €26 million. Yeah. Ironically, Ahmeds Begovich was bought from Stoke City. Ahmeds Begovich, you were bought from Stoke City, Paris Saint-Germain, or Bayern Munich. Yeah. You were bought from Stoke City. I don't know why you even came for us because you only sat on the bench. So you were bought for 11 million. Kennedy was bought for 8 million. Oh, I forgot. We got Falcao on loan, didn't we? We got Falcao on loan. That was brilliant. Then we brought in
Michael Hector, €5.5 million. Oh, the legend that is Matt Miazga, €4.5 million. Oh, and remember the great Nathan, the midfielder Nathan for us, was bought for €4 million. Then it's Papi Dujaboji was bought for €3.5 million. Oh, this was great as well. We got Danilo Pantic, who on a free transfer. Alexander Pato was bought in on a loan transfer in January
for Chelsea.
Yes, exactly. So that is our great window. That was a great thing that Chelsea were doing the summer after winning the league and League Cup. We backed that fantastic transfer window. Woo! Well done, Marina. Well done, Michael Imanalo. Well done, Bruce Buck. Well done, Roman Abramovich. You really backed us. You really helped us establish ourselves once again. We're so great. It's so great. We had that brilliant window. We're so all standards were so high. We bought fucking Papi Dujabali, whatever the fuck his name is, to play him. Michael Hector. Who the fuck is Michael Hector to begin with? These two pulled on the Chelsea shirt was when they took a picture in it when they fucking signed for the club, because they never played for us at all. Oh, Baba Rahman. Great decision to keep giving him a year extension every bloody time, Marina.
We only just got rid of him.
That, so people are going to get
9 years,
good
by the
job.
way. He was here. He was here longer.
9 years.
He was at this club longer than Drogba was.
Fuck.
Marshall.
Two stints.
No, I was going to say he was here longer than Drogba's first stint by 2 years. Drogba was here 7 seasons. He was here 9.
Well, that's longer than both his stints then, because Drogba was only here for 1 season after.
Drogba was away during those 3 years as well. So he had enough time.
I had a look, by the way, just for shits and giggles. I had a look because I remember Pantic and Nathan just because, like, I just remember transfers, right? It's just like, and I have this memory of keeping stuff like that in. I had a look, by the way. So we got him on a free, Pantic. We sent him on 5 loans, and then sent him back to his original club that we got him from on a free.
Embarrassing.
What was the point? What was the point? We literally.
That's what I mean. Yeah. This whole. Remember the standards, guys. Remember the standards. Here we go. Now listen to this window, right? This is the 03-04 window, right?
Oh God.
Hernan Crespo. So we spent 170 at the time. So this is 03-04. So at the time, it's 170 million euros, and this is Chelsea at 950k. So that was proper Chelsea this time. But remember, this is 03-04. So remember, add inflation, whatever. Hernan Crespo, 26 million euros. Damien Duff. We stopped. Damien Duff was about to fly to America with Blackburn. We agreed the deal and pulled him off that plane. That's what we did for 24.5 million euros. Juan Sebastian Veron, 21.8 million euros. Claude Makelele, 20 million euros. Claude Makelele was. Adrian Mutu, 19 million euros. Scott Parker, 14.5. Wayne Bridge, Jeremy, 10. Joe Cole, 9.9. Glenn Johnson, 8.3. Lexi Smertin, 5.5. And all that. So that was that. You see, and then look at the next window. This is when you pop. This is it. The next window pops in. Didier Drogba, 38.5 million euros. Ricardo Carvalho, 30. Paulo Ferreira, 20. Arjen Robben, 18. Thiago Mendes, 15. Peter Cech, 11.5. Yarasik, Kesman, stuff like that. And we didn't really need to rebuild, so we only need to add a few more. Lesson, Sean Wright Phillips, Del Horno, and stuff like that. And Crespo came back, and Manish came in. So don't ever go like, oh, the equivalent of. Back then we did spend what would be probably about anywhere from 400 million up due to inflation and transfer fees, stuff like that. So please, it's like, don't ever think we weren't spending before like that. It's just different times. But just going back to the main thing about Begovich, it's just it honestly, Begovich didn't land the minerals because he had no self-awareness that he played
Yeah.
for friggin' Stoke when he signed for us.
I think he was
you know what
very
I mean?
emotional.
And oh, by that way, your standards that season finished 10th. You finished 10th that season. So your standards where you finished 10th. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone interested,
So-
by the way? Nathan had 4 loans, and then we sold him to the club we bought him from, for a loss. Never made an appearance.
So
Honestly.
yeah, this is what it stinks because it's like I listen. I heard that interview. I heard that little rant. I should say, not the interview. And I listen. It's Begovich. I can't be asked. It's like he was a number 2 goalkeeper for us at some point. It's not like Peter Cech is coming out and saying these things, or Courtois, or
But Drogba
Ashley
did.
Cole, or
I mean,
Drogba did.
to a lesser extent, he did.
Yeah.
Last season he did say it because
to a
yeah,
much
we,
lesser extent.
we just come.
Yeah,
Also,
like to a much lesser
I
extent.
kind of agree with Marshall in terms with Drogba though, we kind of listened to it and we heard it and we understood. Wasn't to the same extent, but there was a sort of a level of he didn't really understand or see kind of what was going on because it didn't look the same. So there was a level of understanding as well because it's Drogba. Like Marshall, this is Begovich saying this.
Yeah.
This is no offense in the kind of annals of Chelsea history. This is a nobody.
Yeah. That's
This
kind
is
of
the,
what I'm
this
getting
is the
at.
equivalent of I don't know, Higuain talking about Chelsea. Man was here for a year and then left.
Or
It's
Pato.
that
I didn't even know.
Pato's talking about
Yeah.
Chelsea. The weight behind their words is so minuscule
Yeah.
to the point where it's inconsequential what they say.
Yeah. So I mean, listen. At the end of the day, we after you read all those transfers, I'm sure at the time people were like, who the fuck is? Well, actually, I don't know. Listen, take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt right now. But at the time, people were probably saying who the fuck is Juan Sebastian Veron? Who the fuck is Damien Duff? Is this going to be good enough for Chelsea? Again,
Marshall,
take it with a grain of salt because I was not. There's no context for me for this one.
Marshall, they knew who Veron was because he just had a fucking stinker of a season the season before with United. So we knew who he was. It was a Falcao situation. United had him on loan. United bought him. He was terrible for them. Then we signed him on loan, and he was even worse for us. He was better for United than he was.
No,
for
we
us.
signed him on a full. We signed him on a full transfer.
Wait, what? I thought we signed him on a loan.
Look, we gave him.
Hey, it's even worse.
How much did we even pay for the
I think
guy?
I think he lasted 6 months, and he went back to Argentina for a couple of years. So his contract runs out.
Christ.
No, it's
Jeez.
today, these guys, because we'll go into it a bit later, because I know it's a subject you want to bring up about a certain striker. I'm being told don't buy this type of player because you got players like Cisco out there. And it's I'm going, what the hell has Cisco done to deserve all this praise? You know what I mean? And by the way, don't you want to buy experienced players, but yet you want to buy the young strikers? That makes sense. But going forward, it was these now. If social media is back by then, Didier Drogba would be getting pelters right now for his first 2 seasons.
Yeah.
He'd be getting the burner treatment.
Mm-hmm.
That's what
Also, just on Sesko,
I mean,
what huge club is he playing for right now? I forgot he's playing for the mighty RB Leipzig.
Minerals FC, because I know this is you, Noah, so I'm going to use your government name, Noah. Just let you know, Noah, when you actually come up with your own material, I will take you seriously. Other than that, I'll just laugh at what you're saying right now. I'm just pointing out straight facts. And as Chelsea fan base, as I said before, that I've seen this week on social media, Chelsea have a terrible record at Bournemouth when they've won 4 out of 6 games there and only lost once about in 2019. So that's the whole point. I'm just pointing out inaccuracies from a player who doesn't even realise he's signing from Stoke when he goes about people signing from Brighton. Brighton are some type of shithole, and don't have don't have good scouting network that everyone is envious of apart from Man City. Do you know what I mean? So no one can. Are you mad? You should go follow their. Yeah. Anyway, move on.
All right. So big up, Dark. Let's go on and move on to something related to this. Let's talk about our sporting directors. Actually, so they came out and had a few to say. There's a whole interview. I do suggest. I think it's on the Chelsea Chelsea website that you can read it. So I do
Yeah, it
suggest
is.
if anyone's interested, you can go ahead and read that interview over there. But this is some bits and pieces that I managed to find for the show, and let's see what they have to say, and let's see what we think of it. And listen, there's a big portion of the Chelsea fan base that highly scrutinize these guys. We will see. So first quote right here we have is Paul Stanley and Lawrence Stewart talking about the taking on the job. So we knew there was going to be a big transition. No chance to sit back and relax, that's for sure. We think we would oversee a Premier League record of transaction? Probably not. Then going forward, Paul Stanley and Lawrence Stewart once again. Up. Okay, that was odd. The average age of the squad was high. We had players with contract issues, which had been inherited from an ownership change. And then there were players who made it clear they wanted to leave. That needed to be addressed. And again, going back to what Begovich was saying, like there's context also to the owners taking the club when they did. We were sanctioned. There was a lot of legal issues. There's a lot of, legalities that had to be sorted out as well. So it's a lot of context that gets left out when these guys talk about our club, our current state of affairs as well. Also, with the group of players, the excitement is building. You can feel it daily. There will be setbacks. There always are, and it can take time. New players, new head coach, different philosophy, and many of the players not being able to complete a full preseason for one reason or another. It won't happen overnight. That's normal, but we are all excited about what the short-term, medium, and long-term looks like with a group with Mauricio leading it. And to remind everyone, these guys did pick out of a bunch, and Mauricio was one of the 4 names on the short list that were picked for the job. And then you had Baghdad Bali and Todd Bowley, who decided on who was going to be the one to take the job. So we want players that want to fight for the club, that want to fight every day for each other, for results, for the supporters, for the staff. This club knows how to win. It knows how to succeed. So it's important to bring in players that align with building something special here, and we'll get stronger as a team and as a club. As we head deeper into the season. Next part here on the future of the transfer windows as well. So I'm on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call yourself. We will plan 2 transfer windows in advance. We can't be reactionary. We've got to look at the whole squad, the players that are out on loan, the opportunities we can give players in the academy, and the players in the academy. That is the player puzzle we've got to pull together. Moving on, then they commented on Reece James. So again, I swear I loaded these all up before I did this. Okay, Reece is someone that you can see has real passion for the club. He understands what the club is about, has seen success here, and wants it again. So as a reference for the players, for the supporters, and the wider public, he represents Chelsea really well. Over the summer window, this is also apparently what the goal was. Over the summer window, according to one well-placed source, Chelsea's ownership were continuously thinking about what that 100-point team looks like and putting together the right players who will make that 100-point team. And on an added note, when it comes to negotiating with us, Brighton owner Tony Bloom had this to say: it's possible over the next 2 or 3 years that we have no dealings with Chelsea. So for me, it's not personal at all. So yeah, guys, I mean,
thank God.
Overall, there was a lot mentioned in regards to, what the plan is. And big up also Dark for the membership. Big up to 6 months, but it's been a rough 6 for Chelsea. I think we smashed 3 in tomorrow. If Chile starts left wing, I'm not watching. Fair enough, brother. But so a lot of things were said there. I think overall, the intention is there. I think the idea is right. And I think overall as a fan base, we probably do need to be patient when it comes to this project. But what do you guys have to say or think about what the board basically came out and spoke of, or Winstanley and Stewart?
I don't care what they say. Their job's over.
Fair enough.
Go
well, what do you think about what they were saying about planning 2-3 windows ahead. I think that's smart.
It shows
their job.
Yeah, it shows. Yeah, it shows they should be. Okay, does that mean then the manager's going to be here in 2 or 3 windows time? Do you know what I mean?
Oh, we would hope.
So, does that mean that the plan is to buy whatever type of a European model where you buy the players for the club and how you play, and then you buy in a manager, you bring in a manager to set that. Do you know what I mean? Instead of like working with a manager to buy the players that they want, something like that, which is a European model. But I don't know. Listen, the coming out, it's the timing of these. It's always the timing of these sort of interviews I really find weird. You know. I don't see. If I would have held off I would have held off right now and not said anything right now because no one's really talking about them. You know what I mean? I would have just gone. I wouldn't have brought any attention to myself. I would have left Poch to in the headlights, essentially like that, because otherwise you're going to get sort of targeted again and stuff like that. I don't know really what to take from that. I just don't, because planning 2 or 3 windows ahead, that's great, but we all know
tells me that we're not going to be reactionary.
If 2 or 3 players have an excellent Euros that you didn't think about, then your plans go out the window next summer, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it also makes me think that we're not doing left wing stuff in January.
Yeah, and what if we don't make the Champions League? What if we don't make the Champions League next season? What are your plans then? Because your plans will have to change then. So I don't know. I don't know really what to take from that whatsoever. So
I'm in kind of the same mind as Andrew in terms of like I don't care that much, but not because I'm not interested in what they say. It's more of a case of I didn't need that validation of them saying that, because when it comes to those two, like bar the nonsense that we kind of heard about Winstanley and the Caicedo transfer, I've had no issue with how those two have done their job. Like this whole time, I think every signing they've brought in, bar 1, maybe 2, but one of them's quite early, I've been happy with, and I've been like, I can see the vision for it. And so I don't really have an issue with those two. I more have an issue with everything else around them, because I feel like those two, especially Lawrence Stewart, have done really well with what they've done. And I think most of the stuff they said, I like hearing it because it shows foresight. It shows that they're actually doing their job properly, theoretically speaking. And so yeah, I'm kind of happy with all that. Obviously, like all of this talk about transfers is means nothing if the transfers you bring in can't be utilized by the guy you've got in charge, and we've yet to see so far that is the case. I don't actually think, off the top of my head, I can think of 2 of our signings that look like they are improving under Poch so far.
2 of our summer signings?
Oh, just signings in general.
Oh, okay.
The only 2 I can think of the top of my head are Enzo and Jackson. Apart from that, there's like another signing. Like you could say Carney, but it was 1 game against West Ham. Apart from that, we haven't seen anyone play actual games. I'm not taking preseason into account because it's quite clear preseason meant fuck all. So if you're going based off the league games we played, he's improving like 2 players, 2 of our signings. So yeah, but as I said, just on that though, I'm glad they said it. Hopefully, like the people that needed to hear that can stop getting on their back, because they are not the people whose back you need to get on. I'll be completely honest. Like, depending on the only player I think you can get who you can get at them for, and even with him, it's kind of early until we see what Poch wants to do, is Mudryk. Apart from that, I don't think any signing they've made has been a negative. The only other one I'm questioning at the moment, but it's way too early, is Disassi. But that's just because it's early, and for me, he doesn't look as an upgrade on Chalobah. But in a month's time, I could be wrong. So I don't think they've made a single transfer so far that's been a dud, bar maybe Mudryk, and even then he's played about 400 minutes.
Yeah, because
I have a question to ask. Is Is Mudryk a Bowley signing, or was Winstanley in?
No, they were in their jobs by then.
They
Okay.
credit Egbali more with that signing.
But they were involved
Yeah.
they were involved in terms of scouting him, and in terms of finding him.
Yeah, I think Egbali went to Poland to close the deal, but
Sure.
yeah, Winstanley would have been involved in the recruitment process.
I just wasn't sure because, like, you know, I remember even back then, like, it seemed because Bowley was doing a lot of like, oh, this team want this player, let me try to hijack. He was trying to hijack a bunch of deals. That's how he was kind of moving. I remember that, and it seemed like Mudryk was that kind of a signing as well. So it makes me now question, like, wait, was it a Bowley signing or was it Winstanley and Lawrence Stewart?
Well, Winstanley was here the entire January transfer window. The only dude who wasn't, the only dude who wasn't was Shields. Stewart, I don't know, but Winstanley was here from when we signed Potter, which was before the January transfer window.
But Scott Stewart is dealing with the outgoings, so that doesn't matter in regards to Mudryk.
If that was the case,
Oh.
fair. But that's the thing.
Yeah, he's right.
Those guys, as I said, with those guys, bar the Mudryk transfer, and again, for me, it's too early. I don't think there's been a dud transfer. Like, you can say what you want about maybe Madueke. Again, he's played like 400 minutes of football, and whenever I've seen him play, I've been he has shown things that I think there is there that you can.
Oh,
if he gets more game time, you can apply. And you look at, like, for example, Badiashile. You look at Enzo. Obviously, I think Caicedo will come good. Jackson. I think Palmer's going to be one that's going to be quality. I know he wasn't. That was more Shields, but my point still stands.
And here's a point: Vivell. We know he was in charge of the Enzo deal before Bowley and Barley took over that.
True.
Yeah.
And he did
True.
Wasn't he part of the Felix deal too?
Potentially, I don't remember a specific report of that, but I might be wrong.
He was the one apparently who recommended Felix, and he was the one who wanted to keep him here, like, past last season.
But yeah, I mean, it's nice to see a plan. I think right now it's too early to criticize the job they've been doing. I think we need to. I said this on Discord, and I'll say it here publicly. I think the way I stand with this is I'm willing to see what the project looks like when Pochettino's contract runs out, and if we're not making progress by the end of that contract, then I think this board, Winstanley and Winstanley, because he acquired the players, and I guess I would put in Lawrence Stewart because he got rid of some of the players that maybe we could have used. I don't know, but like then I'll criticize and nitpick and see where I stand with them, because right now, anyone that wants to with Stanley out and all this, like, I just think it's too soon. I think it's too early. We're only 4 games into a new season. These guys had their first summer window. Like, they're not even a year into the job. And so to criticize them now, I feel like it's too soon. We need to see what the results look like. And we need to see what Poch does. Because at the end of the day, too, like, Winstanley isn't the one playing Chilwell on the left wing. Poch is. You know, Winstanley and Lawrence Stewart, they're not the ones picking the lineup. Poch is. And they're working with Poch. Poch had some pulling power in this transfer window. He did say what players he didn't want. He did say what players he wanted to just give back to their clubs from loan, and Felix including that. You know, so it's like, I think everyone in this panel agrees. Let's be patient with this board. Let's see what they do. Let's see what these players do. And everyone barring Mudryk, like Scott said, it's a little too early to see and say if they've been flops or if this has been a failure on Winstanley and Lawrence Stewart. But okay, let's move on to the next topic, which Poch came out with some comments in the most recent press conference he had, and I wanted to read a few of them and see what we thought about what he had to say. And I am sure we will have some thoughts on this. So, new Mauricio Pochettino on Chelsea accepting offers for Ian Maatsen and Trevor Chalobah. What I can tell you is that there are 2 sides to the situation. If an offer appears, it is because another part of the club accepted that they move, or they were trying to find a solution for a player they wanted to leave. That's coming from Nazar Kinsella. Next comment we have here: we are playing well, but we need to be more competitive. My feeling is bad. He explains Chelsea need to be more aggressive when talking about lack of competitiveness. To increase our level, it's about doing it to compete. So apparently we need to be more competitive. Going on. Mauricio Pochettino was asked about his record of not winning a Premier League away game in his last 13 attempts. Is this something that disappoints him? And he says, it doesn't worry me. Every game is a must win. He also suggests he's calm about his away record. Going on. Then he also said, the only thing we are missing is to score goals, but if we keep playing this way, we can be competitive. Interesting comment. Then he said, it is very short, the squad. We are going to face Bournemouth with 14 to 15 players. Now it is important to recover players to be more competitive. For sure, we will be in European competition next season. We need to believe in the quality. A lot of things were said there. Some very interesting ones. Guys, what are your thoughts?
I was going to say, yeah, if he wants to get more goals, maybe he has to start playing more attacking players. Like last game,
True.
we only played two attacking players. We needed some more attackers, like, you know, an actual left winger, a 10, and then we can be more competitive up top. I don't know how he's going to get more competitive when he's just playing the same lineup over and over with the same players anyway. Like, you know, get other players to prove Poch wrong or something. I don't see behind training. All I see in training is, like, you know, good things half the time anyway, and it's just training, so you only can take it with a pinch of salt. So, yeah, like it's a away record. It doesn't really bother me either. Like, it's just a away record. Yeah, what bothers me, we don't win no more. Chelsea just don't win no more. We need to change that in general. I don't care about away record or home record. I just want to just win games in general a lot more, especially against teams like you know, Nottingham Forest or Bournemouth or anything team like that. You know, we just can't even beat them.
We should be more concerned about our low block record than our away record, because that's what cost us against Nottingham Forest, because we were at Stamford Bridge. Look how poor that performance was. So yeah.
Is it concerning to you guys that there's also, I don't know if this is true, we're going to face Bournemouth with 14, 15 players?
By the way. I was about to say, he's full of shit. I really want this guy to shut the fuck up, stop talking and start coaching. Like, I'm so tired of this dude talking in press conferences. Like, I just checked, by the way. I may be off with a couple of injuries, but if I counted correctly, we've got 21 players that are fitting in the squad. 3 of those are goalkeepers, I'll admit. So that still leaves 18 outfield players. This guy's chatting shit. Like,
are you counting Badiashile and Broja?
No.
Okay. Wow. That's
if they're both fit, that goes up to 23. Also, all of this talk of we had about like a 28-man squad and he wanted it to go down to 24 or whatever it was. We've not had like 10 injuries or whatever it would require to go down to that. This guy is just chatting shit. He's just chatting shit, and he's just I don't know whether it's a lost in translation thing because English isn't his first language or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But the way that I just want this guy to shut up. Stop talking in interviews. Like, go and send someone else. Go and send Chilwell. He's the captain. Go and send someone else to do the interviews. Because his brother just keeps talking and keeps digging a hole further for himself. Like, I get the comments he's making. Again, this man keeps talking about like just needing to win and then patience and then young team and this, that, and the other. Like, bro, pick a side. Do you want to win now, or are we having to wait? Because I don't mind either way. Just pick a side.
I was going to say that's a criticism I had of the Winstanley and Stewart interview that I forgot to mention. They were kind of a bit sitting on the fence in that regard as well. And you can't have both. You know, you can't be patient and win at the same time.
The thing is, I don't think they were, and this is where I say maybe it's a lost in translation thing, because I think they were very clear in terms of we have a young squad, so it's going to take time, but we have short-term, medium-term, and long-term goals. Like, we've set clear goals, where it's like with Poch, it's like we need to win now, but we also need patience because we have a young team. Like, those two things don't work. Those two things don't mix. You can't be a win now team and then be a young team that needs to wait and have patience.
I feel like when they say that, I guess let's play a little devil's advocate here. I feel like when they do say that, what they could mean is that, okay, patience because we're expecting to beat the teams that we're supposed to be beating, like Nottingham Forest, obviously, Bournemouth and all that stuff. But be patient because maybe we're not ready to outright compete with the big teams like Arsenal, City, United, Spurs. I mean, obviously hindsight's 2020. It's a little different now, but like maybe that's what they mean by like having some patience. We're gonna win games, but we're not gonna win all of them.
He said, no. Poch said trophies. Poch said win trophies. And he didn't say years.
You're right. No, you're right.
He
You're
said
right.
trophies, and he said, we're not talking years, we're talking months. He said, we're not talking 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, we're talking months. That implies this season.
And you actually saw it in
implying
this
top 4 as well.
Yeah, he literally said in that press conference, we'll be in European competition next season.
Yeah,
so
true.
if not top 4, that's at least like top 7 or what have you.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there are more comments as well. That leads us to the next topic. Okay, let's see what we have to say about this. Chilwell to stay at left wing.
Yes,
okay.
I'm for it.
This is concerning. No, this is concerning. So let's see what he has to say. Ben Chilwell has been preferred on the left wing for Chelsea because he can be trusted to make the right movements at the right times with and without the ball. And Poch's direct comments are right here. Mauricio Pochettino has discussed using Ben Chilwell as a winger. All the coaching staff feel disappointed when you lose players to injury. Of course, it affects the team, but we need to accept it and adapt. We need to find solutions with different players playing in different positions to try to get the best balance. Ben is a fullback who can help the team in a different position. In 4 games, he has created more chances than any player in the national team last week. Ben played in a similar position.
He didn't.
No, he did.
Don't
and he was
think
shit
so.
then.
But he played left wing back.
No, he was on the team sheet. He was on the team sheet. He was left back, but for most of the Ukraine game, he was playing as like the furthest person forward on the left hand side.
I mean, what it looked like, it looked like in game they went to like Walker, Maguire, and Gerhi as the back 3, and like Chilwell was a wing back almost.
And he was playing as a winger at times, and he was shit.
Maybe if we play Cole Palmer as 10, Chilwell plays better again, because he did all right, I thought, against Liverpool and stuff when we had the 10. Maybe with Cole Palmer, we see better Chilwell.
To answer this comment, I say again, he said win trophies.
Yeah.
He didn't say win games, he said win trophies.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't mind seeing win an FA Cup or something. We ain't won FA
Well,
Cup.
neither would I, Chris. I'm not opposed to us winning trophies.
Yeah.
But my expectations then of the squad are different. If the expectation is for this team to be able to win a trophy, then I have to judge these players differently, theoretically speaking. Obviously, I'm not going to do that because I have common sense. And I understand that Mudryk is very raw. And, Palmer's just coming into the team. And, like, for Nkunku, when he comes back, it's a different country, it's a different league. So there may be a period of adaptation. So I'm not naive, but it's like, you can't expect to have this win now, I'll say it again, win trophies attitude, and then expect patience. How much patience are you expecting? How much patience do you think these players need? Because the way that we're looking at some of these players, they don't need, they need at least a season of development. So that's the whole season. Sure. Are you expecting to win a trophy with these players having a year of development when you're not developing them as well? And to these comments, let him play Chilwell at left wing for all I care. He'll be sacked before Christmas.
Possible. Well, I wanted to ask you guys, we did talk about this a little bit on Wednesday's stream when we're talking about Thiago Silva, but for those of you that weren't on the panel, Andrew and Scott in this instance, if we do get Nkunku, Carney, a competent number 10 back, do you think that it's a possibility that maybe that Chilwell left wing will work a little better?
No. Well,
no. Didn't work against West Ham. He didn't really do much against West Ham when Carney was there. Carney did well in spite of him. And by the way, I think all the attention should not be on Chilwell anymore.
Oh yeah, it's not on Chilwell.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, true.
This whole thing about whether he's good enough, he's not good enough. It's the equivalent of asking Nicholas Jackson to play right back. It just is. What's the point?
Yeah.
You just know he's not going to play. Not going to play well. So it goes back to Poch, and it's going. Why? How is if you don't give them the chance? There's 3 people who can play left wing. There's Madueke, Mudryk, and Maatsen. Are you telling me you can't give one of these guys a shot at left wing? Because the overall, and then you can shift. You can even shift Chilwell to left back,
Yeah, why not?
and then Cole Walters, and amazingly, Cole Walters centre back. You can actually play people in their positions. Imagine that. Imagine that right there. This whole thing about he created chances and what?
It's Mason Mount all
Yeah,
over
that
again.
was
He
weird.
created chances statistically.
Doesn't
Andrew, by the way,
Chilwell take corners?
I was about to say it's not like he does, but it's not even that because I went and looked at the stats on this. Go and look at the stats. You can find them if we're going to talk stats and all this nonsense. Because I will say to I'm blue in the face. The chances created stat is the worst stat in football when it comes to attack. When it comes to like play, like just it's for me the worst stat in football because it doesn't highlight the key stuff. Number one, if you take set pieces, your chances created tend to be higher because a chance created. If you overhit a free kick and a player skims it off the top of their head and it goes over the crossbar. But there was no chance there was no chance of scoring. That's a chance created, even though you overhit the free kick. It was a terrible free kick. It was a terrible delivery. Go and look at stats of how many passes into the box Chilwell has. He's like in the starting 11 or of like the 13 players or 14 players, whatever it is, that have actually registered stats for our team. He's like 10th of passes into the box. For crosses, he's second. So all I'm seeing from that is he's just hitting crosses into the box and hoping something sticks. Yeah, of course you're going to get chances created from that. Is it good chances? No. Because again, what you're doing is looping the ball in, asking Jackson to beat two defenders who are most likely bigger than him or taller than him or both. He might get his head to it and it might go over the crossbar because he somehow managed to get between them. That's a chance created. Was it a good chance? Did it mean anything in terms of what we're trying to do? No. It's a chance created.
I just want to ask quickly. I don't know. I don't know if this falls under the definition of a chance created, and I don't know if Chilwell even did this. But whoever passed the ball to Mudryk when he had that 40-yard shot that hit the defender in the face, is that a chance?
I think so.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
That was never going anywhere.
Well, it's the same thing. It's the same thing with shots on target when people hit those pathetic weak shots, and and the keeper go right to keeper. It's the same thing like that. It's like the statistics the stats just how good of a shot that was. You can have those lame like João Felix shots that go straight to the goalkeeper, and it goes down as a shot on target and stuff like that. When someone's had an amazing 30-yard shot that hits the crossbar, but it's not on target. It's just mad. Or like Busquets could give the ball to Messi when they were at Barcelona. Messi dribbles hard. Like remember that Messi goal against Real Madrid in the Champions League semi-final when he dribbled in and that's to Messi, he gets an assist for that, right? But Messi has to go in and out to score. But it's the same. It's like a couple of years ago, I had Salah in my team and he got an assist for rolling the ball to Trent Alexander to score from a free kick against West Ham, like 2 yards. He gets an assist point.
Great assist.
That's the whole point. Big chances, big chances created, right? Yeah.
I was just going to say the one I remember is the Bruno one for Pogba against Fulham, where he literally passes it like 2 yards for him to then Pogba then twats it top bins from like 40 yards out.
I mean,
I remember that one
this season.
Well, I was literally about
Gusto.
Well, no, the one I was going to say, Chilwell does have an assist this season, I think, for when he passed the ball to.
He headed the ball up.
No,
it was Disasi. Chilwell to Disasi, Liverpool.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm just saying he has two because I'll say he has two then because he got the header to Disasi, which like cool, and then he had the one to Chukwuemeka. I think he was the one who passed to Chukwuemeka.
No, Scott, but the Chukwuemeka one was he crossed it into the box, but then Zuma failed a clearance, and that's how he got the ball. So I don't think that would be an assist.
I think he's only got one cast.
I thought it was he passed it to him and he beat two people.
He crossed it in, but Zuma did a poor clearance, and that's how it got to Carney.
The whole thing back to the full circle back to the thing is that he will start tomorrow. Probably the usual game he'll have, but the blame no one should be talking about Chilwell's performance. I just don't, because I know what I'm going to get. So I'm not going to hammer Chilwell getting about 70 minutes and then play someone else there, because it should be on the manager. Should be on the manager. I hope he plays well. I
hope he proves us wrong.
Well. But the thing is that going by the last 4 games that plays, I'm not counting England because England's a joke, and international football is a joke. But counting the last 4 games, unless it's tournament football. Anything that's not tournament football internationals is a joke. All right, just a joke. Can't last for. I know the level of performance I'm going to get. I'm going to get the try hard. Very little, but it's weird because you would think he'd have more attacking instinct though, because he played left wing back under Tuchel, and that's the 21-22 season when him and Reece were creative outlets and scoring all the goals. But I don't know. Obviously, the injury comes into it and stuff like that. But I don't think he's got the instinct to have a full attacking mode. He doesn't have the instinct to or the creativity to have that with someone who is a natural attacker. You know what I mean? It's like overloading. It's overloading the senses essentially about it.
I think the problem with that is that when Chilwell was on his best form, it was like, autumn time kind of under Tuchel. He wasn't getting, what we're doing now with him on the wing. He's holding the width. That's not what he was doing under Tuchel. Under Tuchel, you had Cho holding the width and Chilwell, he was underlapping, wasn't he? And that's how he was getting into the goal scoring positions. He can't do that in the current setup. And I'm not saying that the setup should even be modified because he shouldn't be playing in that position in the first place. But he's not a guy to hold the width. Like Scott said earlier, he just spams crosses and hopes for the best.
I'll be honest, I don't even think that he's doing. I think some of it comes down and this is why I do criticize Chilwell a bit. Is I just think that he hasn't got the footballing IQ to take things upon himself and do because I'll use an example of. I only caught the highlights of the game today, but from what I heard, there was more of this of Teo Hernandez. There's a guy who I feel like his football IQ is fairly decent. Where you look at what he was doing to Inter Milan, and I know they lost, but look at what he was doing to Inter Milan in terms of going forward. And that guy's a left back. He hasn't played wing or anything. It's not like a Davies situation where he was a winger, got moved back. This is a left back. But in attacking areas, he's got the IQ to understand when to cut in, how to beat guys on the dribble, how to do a nice little touch here and there. And I don't think Chilwell's got that. And it's on one hand, I do agree with Andrew.
They didn't lose. They didn't drop today by Inter Milan. They got lost 5-1.
No, yeah, they got destroyed. But my point is more of the fact of in attack, he's able to do those things, and that's a left back. And so I think some of it, I don't put all of it on Chilwell. Obviously, I don't rate Chilwell, but it's obviously not on Chilwell. But I don't think that Chilwell helps himself because I don't think he's got the IQ to. If the manager isn't coached, because I think a lot of what we're seeing is what he was doing under Tuchel was coached. I think if he isn't being coached on to do that stuff, he hasn't got the instinct or the intuition to take it upon himself to do it. So I don't think whereas someone like a Hernandez or a Davies or a
this Chilwell
like that would have that.
If he wants to play him so wide, then play three at the back and wing backs. I have no problem then. Play him because that's a fine thing. But we're playing four at the back with three centre backs, and he's playing left wing. So anyway, we're not playing three at the back anymore. We're playing four at the back with three centre backs. Trying to do a City, but not do it. Okay, that's the thing. So he's playing left wing. I don't care what anyone says. He's not tracking back because he's not being told to track back. Okay, he's not being told to track back. He's playing left wing, and for some reason, problem is he sticks to that touch line most of the time. He doesn't try and get close to Jackson at all to link up and work off at all, or the midfielder. He doesn't try to tell the game. He occasionally goes into the box when he doesn't have the ball to try and be an extra attacker, but when he has the ball, he is so far away from anyone else that's why we're so right heavy when it comes to it. So
I don't think it's helped by the fact that we don't have a number 10 right now. I think if we bring in a number 10, there will be more of a connection on that side. But yeah, he is very we've seen the passing maps, haven't we? I remember I put the graphic in the Discord with the Forest one where the left hand side he's on an island. Yeah, and that's not because he's being marked out of the game. That's because he's just there.
Yeah, I do think, as much as I don't want... the thing, going back to what Andrew said, I don't mind left wing back. I think where Poch starts to lose me is that he's trying to do this hybrid thing with a really young team when we barely have down the basics. If you want to do 3 at the back with wing backs, then do that. Just stay with that. Do that and stay with that formation going forward and defending. Okay, you don't have to switch to a back 4. You don't have to do a hybrid, have Caldwell do a left back job and then come back and do center back. Like, just stick to one formation and see how it works. I don't care if you want to put Joe on the left wing back, whatever. I think when the 10 comes back, whether it be Cole Palmer who starts next game as a 10, or we wait until we get Nkunku or even Carney back, we'll see what happens. And maybe there'll be some more cohesiveness and maybe it'll work a little bit. Because to be fair, as much as we were shocked to see it against Liverpool, it did seem to have an effect against Liverpool. And up until
the one team that want to play football against you and not sit back.
Oliver, I'm going to go one, not even that. After the Wolves game today, I don't hold any weight to that game that we played against Liverpool. This is a Wolves team. This is a Wolves team who are not good. Like, they are decent. They're not great. They outplayed Liverpool. They played them off the park for 60 minutes. Up until Liverpool scored, they played them off the park.
They outplayed a few big clubs this season now. Well, they outplayed Man United as well.
Liverpool have been very unconvincing in all their games.
They outplayed the 2 easiest teams to play through. Liverpool is one of the 2 easiest teams to play through. So the fact we play through them means nothing to me anymore. Because that's what every team is doing.
Okay.
But every team is playing through Liverpool. So us doing that doesn't mean anything. Because Wolves did that.
Just on the Wolves game, look how Neto played today, and imagine we're going to play a left back on the left wing. That's just so depressing.
You know what I don't get? Like, if he wants, like, I don't know if Poch wants to use like a left-footed player on the left wing. Like, you literally have Madueke, who's left-footed, who can actually do crosses or whatever if you want him to do that. I understand what's the real reason for Chilwell to be a left wing, because he doesn't really trap back. He doesn't really cross that well. He can shoot normally. This season, no. I don't think Chilwell's even offered anything really that good for like Poch to start him. Like he's captain because obviously Reece James is injured. I don't think that should be enough reason to start Chilwell as well because he's captain. That's just, you can just make someone else captain like Thiago Silva or someone else like that, because Thiago Silva's got to play. So I don't understand why he plays, because we literally have wingers like a left-footed winger.
The only alternative is that he doesn't rate Mudryk and Madueke that much, and if that's the case, then we are in deep trouble.
Seems like it is a trust issue thing.
We are in deep trouble if that's the case.
I mean, so rather than continue talking about Chilwell, I would like to ask you guys how big of an impact it would be to have the following player come back from injury. We do have an injury update for Lavia, and let's see what the update is, and then maybe discuss the impact this player can have on our team. So PYS here stating early indications are that Lavia has suffered some ligament damage to his ankle and will miss at least a month and a half, according to Adrian J. Kajumba. And then we move on to the next tweet I have here. Medical sources confirmed that the news that Romeo Lavia has a ligament injury. At the moment, the estimated time frame is around 8 weeks, but it could go down if the swelling heals. So that's coming from C345 Sam. No one in the press conference asked Poch how long he's out for, which I found to be annoying, but that always happens with these journos. They never ask these questions. They just want to throw up some softballs or very typical repetitive questions. So I guess I don't know how big of a difference Lavia would make. It would be nice to have him sitting on the 6. We can play a 4-2-3 more properly with having Caicedo and Enzo be more of attacking 8s. Maybe there is more connection and fluidity up top with the attack when we do it that way. I have a feeling even if we did have Lavia though, maybe Poch sees a way to squeeze in Gallagher still, regardless. I just don't see Gallagher being dropped for whatever reason, even if we get Lavia.
What we're saying then is we're back in the same situation where we need a 6 in our team to connect the attack up and to fix the attack.
I mean, I say since we don't have a 10, maybe with Lavia back, we could change something up.
I'm sorry, that idea has always been, even back when it was coming under Tuchel, and now the idea is nonsense. Because we have a 6, or we have a guy who is defensively solid in Caicedo. And it means
we haven't done a 4-3-3 yet. I think.
Yes, we have.
Have we, or have we still been stubborn and trying to do a 4-2-3-1 and trying to integrate Enzo into like a 10
Nah,
position?
because like the last game was the 4-3-3.
Hang on, Marshall. If Lavia comes into this team, who does he come in for?
I would assume it would be Gallagher. That's my pick.
So the formation, the midfield is then going to be Caicedo and Lavia as the double pivot, and Enzo still in the 10. Like this, the Lavia injury has nothing to do with the team. Doesn't.
But I was thinking more of like Lavia as a lone 6.
But like, okay, you have him as a lone 6. Then what? You've still got Poch wanting to push Enzo high into the attack and have him crash in the box late and doing the Dele Alli role, which he doesn't want to do. At least not in this way. Like, the person we're missing is that 10. Whether that's Palmer, Nkunku, Chukwuemeka, whoever, that 10 is who we're missing. Lavia doesn't change that. Doesn't matter whether we have him, because we have Ugochukwu who could do the same role as that lone 6.
Yeah,
like showing that he can be effectively solid.
Lavia's going to have a great impact in the 24-25 season.
Jesus Christ, don't say that.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree necessarily. I don't know. Like, Andrew's probably joking, but like
we are.
When it comes to this season,
I think Scott hit it out of the head. I don't think anyone should feel. I mean, everyone should feel bad about not seeing him for a while. But if they're keeping Ugochukwu, then there's no like, oh no, we desperately need him to rush back, which is a good thing. By the way, Enzo's never played a 10 for Chelsea. I just want to put that right now. He played as an 8 and then dropped to a 6. Side note, I got this weird. I don't know why some of this fan base does not like Enzo for some reason, but
that is weird.
Yeah, it's very weird. But this midfield not going to get you a lot of goals, which makes it even weirder why we still play Chilwell on the left. If this midfield isn't going to provide you goals, provide you maybe assists or something now and again, then or you're still going to play Chilwell, then you need to have a goal scorer midfielder or a number 10, as Scott says. So back to the Lavia thing. I think they're still deciding how bad it is, whether it actually needs surgery or not.
Yeah.
Surgery puts the return time back even further. Like we're talking probably January or something like that. So I don't know. I honestly don't know. That's why I don't think Poch said anything, because they're undecided about what they want to do in terms of going for physio or going for surgery and then physio. It depends what the damage is, I suppose. Depends. Swelling goes down and because remember when Nkunku got injured? Oh, he's okay. He's walking off the pitch. Do you know what I mean? And then he's out for like 4 months. So I think they're going to take their time. They realise they don't have to rush because they got a guy like Ugochukwu there. So the need for Lavia, obviously there's a need for Lavia. He's a good player. But the actual going, oh no, we desperately need him, isn't there because we've kept Leslie and didn't send him out on loan. So, listen, I am honestly, people, oh yeah, if we brought him in, we definitely play a 4-3-3. Will we? Well, left wing at the start of the season? No. Why? And Cole left back? Why would you assume we go to a 4-3-3 with Lavia?
Andrew, but like I said, even if we did, I don't think that improves us, because you're still going to have like I think the way that Poch would have us playing the 4-3-3, we're going to see a lot of the same issues in terms of Jackson dropping deep, having to pick the ball up deep, not being in the box to finish chances because he's had to pick the ball up from deep and start those chances. You're still going to see the same issues. Like, I kind of do agree with what you said earlier, Marshall, in terms of getting a 10 would help, and it's probably the biggest issue we've got in the squad right now, potentially over Chilwell. And it's like, what is baffling about this, and this is my biggest issue with Poch at the moment, is just misprofiling players. I may not rate him, but Andrew mentioned goals from midfield, or like the guy who's going to get you the most goals from the midfield we're currently playing is playing as the 6 in this team. So like, I may not rate him personally, but he can get you goals. He's probably going to do a better job in terms of what you're wanting from your number 10 than Enzo. Like, and Enzo will probably do a better job of what you're wanting from the 6th position than Gallagher. So like, it's all back. Our midfield is backwards, and I don't understand because he didn't have a problem with this in preseason. Like none of this was happening in preseason, and I don't understand. I don't know what Pochettino did we have in preseason? Was it his clone? Was it his twin? Did he fall on his head? Did he bash his head one day? Like what's going? Like I don't understand.
Yeah,
like,
I swear that Nkunku injury played a huge part in it, because I even remember the game he got injured in. He was playing left wing, and so maybe the idea was to go into the season with Nkunku as a left wing and Carney as a 10.
But even Marshall, you say that right? Let's go back to what was the first game we played? Not the Wrexham game. It was the Brighton game after.
Oh, okay.
Forget Nkunku for a second. You remember the second half, our midfield, we played a 4-3-3 or a 4-1-4-1, and it was Enzo as the 6 and Casade and Gallagher ahead of him. So, like, if you look at the midfield, even forget Casade and Nkunku. Why change the midfield? Yeah, it worked against Liverpool because Gallagher was doing a madness in terms of tackling, but like
it's confusing. It's leaving you without words.
This is baffling because it is so simple.
Yeah.
Like, even if Palmer isn't fit, again, I don't rate him, but Gallagher would do a job. Like, and he can do what you want in terms of the Dele Alli role of crashing the box late with those late driving runs, you know, doing the little 1-2 link up play in the box, or hitting a long shot, or like getting a scruffy tap in or something. He can do that because he was kind of doing that for Palace. It's just baffling. Like, I don't understand.
You know, I'm not gonna go into
like
today's Poch tweets. It's already frustrating enough. I saw the tweets or the quotes.
Sorry, he said something about
Zidane. Oh my god.
Toad.
I'm agreeing with Scott. I think he needs to be quiet.
I just don't. It's like someone went to Poch. I bet you can't come up with something that will flummox and confuse football fans in general. And he went, "Hold my beer." And he's put
my cerveza.
Chilwell left wing, Chilwell at left back. The confusing midfield, which should be, as Scott said, very similar, very simple. You know, you can play like a 2 or a 3 or a flat 3 or a 3 with 1 going up and something like. It should be very simple, like or play a wide player, or a wide player should be something like that. Very simple, but he went, nope, I'm going to really confuse everyone and play this. And then play it for 4 games in a row and still persist for it still for a 5th one.
This football club is literally a social experiment.
By the way, on a side note, I'd forgotten about his tweets from today. I quote tweeted it. I want to kill myself.
Why did someone ask him why didn't he play Cucurella against AFC Wimbledon in the same position he played Chilwell?
He did.
Actually played a wide player in that position. No, he didn't.
No, he played a back 4 like a proper
played a back 4.
I jumped the gun.
Wide player.
He played a back 4.
Wide player left wing. So why isn't anyone ask him why he did that then, but not for the league game? So tomorrow, if we win, my brain just went. I don't know what I was going to say.
Listen, this topic with
Chelsea winning and
left wing and stuff, it's frying all our brains.
I said if we win, and my brain went, nope.
If we win, it's short circuitry.
If we win,
I don't know. That'll be a crazy win if we do. But one thing I will say is that I think it's something that we all kind of agree on, is that we need more competition, or at least maybe a better competition. I don't know. I don't want to speak too soon on this, but Ivan Toney, there's been rumors, and it's getting louder and louder as we're transitioning over to eventually approaching the January transfer window. And so there's been a few tweets about this that have come out. And so I'm interested to discuss it a little bit. So here we have Chelsea are leading the race to sign Brentford's forward Ivan Toney, with moves being made behind the scenes to possibly get him in January. Toney is Pochettino's ideal choice as he is English at the right age and proven in the Premier League. I don't think this has anything to do with anything, but we continue. Yeah, I don't know. There have been lots of talks. There have been lots of Ivan Toney talks this week, with Brentford rumored to want £70 million for him. Would you be happy if Chelsea pursued this deal? $70 million for Ivan Toney.
Take it.
Yeah,
Take
yeah.
it.
Like the
I
best
really
striker
like
in the league.
Toney.
Yep. That's cheap.
Yeah,
That's cheap.
but like, I was gonna say, yeah, I really want Toney, but like, I'm just tired of transfers, man. I'm tired, man.
Yeah,
I want to win.
I know, yeah.
Your
We
transfer,
do need,
dopamine,
we do, but Scott, we do need another striker. We can't.
your
just rely
transfer
on
dopamine doesn't work anymore, man.
Like, fuck the striker talk for a second. We've got a striker that we're not
We do.
creating for.
We also.
We've got a
Oh,
striker.
yeah, that's the other thing, by the way.
Yeah.
Just quickly on Jackson. If anyone has been saying, "Oh, play him on the wing," he's not a winger. Let's just get that straight, because I've been seeing that, and that's ridiculous. Let him play his position.
Don't be surprised if Poch plays him at centre mid or
He played
wing or
wide at
something like.
Villarreal for a few
I say he
months,
played
so-
wide at Villarreal, but again, my argument would be if you're going to play him on the wing, play him there now. I'm not getting why
Exactly.
Why would you play him half the season at striker, and then halfway through the season when you get Toney and you put one left wing. Why? What does that achieve? Like, just coach this. Just coach
Well,
this team properly.
We signed Toney. He's probably going to play him at DM. So.
That wouldn't surprise me. Also, do you know what?
Yeah,
Also,
Lavia's
I
out,
keep
man.
seeing- by the way, Andrew, I keep seeing all these people talk about like Jackson costing us. Oh, he's got 6 chances or big chances missed at the end of the
6
season.
big chances, apparently.
Yeah. Oh, that's less, by the way, than Haaland had in one game today.
Yeah.
And he still scored. He had like 7 big chances missed, I think, this game, or something like that.
I heard he
and
missed
still
like
scored.
2 good chances, big chances, but I didn't.
Oh no, he missed a bunch. He had about 2 or 3 cleared off the line, missed an open goal, and then still scored. Because
Wait,
guess what?
Defenders
City
cleared off the
create-
line.
Yeah, he had about 2 or 3 that were cleared off the line. But
Jeez,
guess
that's a
what?
lot.
He gets about 1 million chances created a game. So yeah, he missed like 6, 7 chances. It doesn't matter because guess what? They created a chance where he scored. We create 2 chances a game, expect Jack to score both of them, or we don't win, and then complain when we don't when he misses the chance. Yes, he's going to miss chances. He's a striker. Every striker does. Haaland was the top goal scorer last season. He should win the Ballon d'Or. And as I said, he missed 7 chances this game today.
Yeah.
And then still scored.
Back to Toney, though. If you speak, I don't know what it. Again, I've got to stop doing this really. But some people online are just apparently this guy's not good enough. You know, only scores 20 league goals, but apparently 6 of them are penalties. Not good enough. I'll just say to you right now, if you're a Chelsea fan who doesn't consider penalties good enough, then don't count our first Champions League win in your record books, please.
Also, we need a penalty taker.
Knock off a bunch of Lampard goals as well.
Yeah,
We're not forget.
Don't take
Yeah, we
away
missed
huge
one this
chunks from
season,
that.
right?
We had 2 penalties. Nani made his against Wimbledon, and Enzo missed his against West Ham, which could have changed the game completely.
I mean, this guy. There's one performance I tell you to go watch back from Ivan Toney. Is his performance away at Liverpool last season. He didn't score, okay, but he did everything but. His hold-up play is excellent. His passing's good. He can dribble. He's got pace. He can take penalties, and he's got a good strike on him, and he can head the ball. I have no idea how any Chelsea fan can write off a striker, given the absolute trash we've had to put up with in front of goal since Diego Costa left. Okay, this guy, mind you, has had back-to-back good goal-scoring seasons for Brentford. Yeah, not a Newcastle, not a Spurs, not an Arsenal, not a City. Liverpool, Brentford. Yeah, Brentford. Right now, tell you right now, if this guy was in the Brighton team, he'd be getting 30 league goals in the season, the last 2 seasons.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, that's how good this guy is. He's the second best striker in the Premier League, and then there's a big distance even behind him after that. Okay, He's 27 going on 28. And some of you guys, maybe not in the chat, are talking about, was it Benjamin Sesko? Or I don't know what his name is. So, like, what has Sesko done? And why is it that you're complaining that you want more experience in this team? You want us to bring in another young striker like Sesko, or go play for Osherman, who's going to cost you an arm and a leg at 150 million or something like that. And you've got a guy who, for 2 seasons straight, remember, it's quite rare that strikers that come up from the Championship get better goal scoring stats in the second season than their first. This guy's improved his all-round game and his goal scoring from the because usually people work them out in the second season. This guy, I beggars belief that some Chelsea fans turn their nose up at this guy. Like, hello, who are you? Who are you? This whole new thing about... I tell you what, if Ivan Toney was banging in goals in the Bundesliga, every Chelsea fan would be rubbing their hands and other areas of their body, probably. But, for him, it's a snip for me. But like we say, we already have got one striker, and we're handicapping him by not helping him, by giving him loads of help up there. So
honestly, he's only had really 2 clear-cut chances this season. The one was the last game where he had to reach for it and it went over the bar. And then when, I don't know if it counts as a clear-cut chance, but it was when Raheem passed it into the box and he whiffed at it. He missed it and it went to Chilwell and Joel didn't do shit with it. That's about...
I'll say it's clear,
Yeah, I would say...
I would say he made a great run off Enzo. Enzo gave him a good ball. We tried taking on the keeper, but it didn't work out. But that wasn't like a clear-cut chance, I guess. Like for example,
no, he worked those chances himself. So what it does? It can't really is a big chance if he worked the chance himself. It counts as a big chance.
I just want to make a point quickly.
They work out
what Andrew was saying about Andrew, what you were saying about with Toney and the second season thing. Some big context to that. They lost their best creator last season. You remember they had Ericsson for 6 months. Yeah. They lost him. Yeah. And I dare someone on this panel or in the chat to name me Brentford's primary creator from last season. You can't do it.
Oh, just in Boomer, wasn't it?
I thought so.
Is he even really a creator though? I don't know.
I dared him to name.
Was he playing at the wing? I don't remember.
3 Brentford players and Rico Henry in them.
Yeah.
Also, just Andrew, what game did you tell people to go and watch?
Liverpool away.
Liverpool Brentford.
And when you're finished with that, go and watch one of the Arsenal games from last season. I can't remember which one it was, but it's the one where he dominated William Saliba, who at the time was arguably the best centre back in the league. And it was the same one where he.
The draw.
It might have been the 2-2, but I think it was the same game where he got a weak foot half volley assist from left wing into Mbeumo, I think it was. Let me say that again. A half volley weak foot assist from left wing. And I'm talking, it was a whipped cross in on the half volley.
But by the way, take City out, he gets into every team in this Premier League.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah? He gets into
every
team. Imagine he was at Liverpool right now. You would have them joint favourites with Manchester City for the league right now.
Yeah, like
imagine hit Salah. Imagine for Ivan Toney right now. Imagine that.
Imagine I didn't waste their money on Haaland.
If Haaland wasn't at City, he would start for Man City. He's that good. He would be breaking goal scoring records. He's that good. So I'm telling you, I'm surprised because you thought of a name like Ivan Toney, these are fucking aesthetic, pleasing, he's got a fancy name. Football fans would be all over him, but no, because he plays for Brentford. Yeah. Don't ask Begovich about this guy because he wouldn't want to. You know what I mean? The standards.
Let's have it right.
The standards, of course.
I just want to. Sorry, Chris, go on.
I was gonna say like last season, I'm pretty sure when he scored like over 20 goals, he scored a lot of goals against like big teams like City, Man United. I don't think he scored. I don't think he scored against us actually, surprisingly. But he scored. He got assist against Liverpool. I think he scored against Tottenham. Like he's got a few goals and assists like against big teams or good teams like Newcastle as well. Newcastle was a good team last season. I think he scored twice against them in both games. He scored against Arsenal. He scored many goals and small teams as well. Of course, like he's a great striker. He's strong. He's good on the ball. He can shoot. I don't know why Chelsea fans were wanting to strike. He's one of the top strikers in the Premier League for the last like season and two.
I think the hesitance is just the fact that the gambling. And go ahead, Oliver.
I want to present a reason why. I'm not saying I agree with this, but I just want to present this to the panel in the chat because I've heard a few people say this. The fact that he plays in a two, like the question is, can he play as a solo striker? Like I'm not saying I agree to that, but I just want to pose that to the panel and the chat. What do you think of that?
I would love to see him with Jackson. I think that would be amazing with a two. And if we had okay, so you were saying, are we capable of seeing him as a one as well?
Yes.
He's able to do both. I think he'd be able to do both. I think this guy is. When you're that good of a striker, you make it happen. Like I genuinely believe that. Like, as long as you get the ball and you get enough chances, you will score. You could throw Benzema in this lineup. Doesn't matter what formation you play. If you create enough chances, you will score. Same thing goes with Jackson. Jackson will score. And if we get Ivan Toney and we see him paired up with Jackson up there, and sometimes we rest Jackson, we just put him up with a 10, I could see us really cooking. I could really see us cooking. And yeah, I think Tony's the right guy, dude.
Agree.
100%. I agree.
Yeah. Well, let's hope that it works out. Hopefully 70 million. I think 70 million is a steal for this player. I mean, obviously there's controversy that follows him.
I would say it's a fair price.
Actually, the only other thing I wanted to say, sorry,
when I've had John Terry at my club, unless the controversy was that this guy murdered someone, and it's
Oh, Andrew, it's fine. Andrew, we've had a murderer play for this club.
Oh yes,
or at the very
sorry, I forget.
Yeah,
we've had we've had someone that committed manslaughter.
Jesus, yes.
I had someone who did it off the pitch. I had someone who did it on the pitch in Kai Havertz. He murdered a lot of games. So.
Yeah.
Kept in goal as well.
What were you gonna say, Scott, before I move on to the next topic?
Oh that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say we talk about controversies and betting and whatnot, but yeah, we've had racists, we've had cokeheads, we've had murderers play for this football club, and Kai Havertz. All kinds of criminals. Kepa as well. All kinds of criminals.
That's mostly the Matthew Harding lower stand, really.
Sorry as well. And I'm not saying I agree with the clubs. I'm not saying I want these type of people to play for clubs. When you've got literal rapists or alleged rapists playing for football teams in the Premier League, I think morality kind of goes out the window at that point.
Potential
domestic abusers,
women hit domestic violence as well. Then it's
definitely
a gambling thing is,
Yeah,
we just got to hope.
Why did some guy get a suspended 5-month sentence?
I don't.
You tell me, man. You tell me.
I think there will be a
Ivan Toney. Yes, and I think this guy had Toney. So why does Ivan Toney? Well,
he had more. He had more.
So
he had more. Right?
Just to move along with the topic, there will be a stream.
Wants to move along with spending too much on the controversial stuff.
No, it's fine. No, it's not even that. I feel like this alone can be its own little topic that I think we're gonna eventually touch on the fairness between one suspension versus another, and that will definitely come as we get closer to the January transfer window for sure. With Toney. But let's go on, and I do want to discuss some player returns because we do have some players coming back, and I want to see what we think about it, and obviously if it's going to help us, and I think it will. in the short term right now. So discussing the return of Badiashile as well as Broja. So Chelsea believe Levi Colwill and Benoit Badiashile to be two of the three best young left-sided center backs in the world. If that is true, one or both of them should overtake Thiago Silva sooner rather than later. And I think, to give Poch a little bit of credit, I think the plan was to do that with Fofana and Badiashile, but unfortunately Fofana got hurt and Badiashile got hurt as well. So Chelsea have taken an ultra cautious approach to Benoit Badiashile and Armando Broja's return and will likely wait until Aston Villa's visit to Stamford Bridge next week before playing them. This means they will miss Sunday's trip to Bournemouth. Let's do the same thing for Reece James, please. Armando Broja, Benoit Badiashile, Reece James are expected to return from their international break in a very much welcome boost to Chelsea. And then we also have here, Chelsea really like Armando Broja and remain big believers in his potential, but even before his injury, he had not demonstrated the ability to find the net regularly in senior professional football. He also never really got that many starts or chances to really prove that. But sure, we can say that. Why not? And then last tweet right here is Albania FA President Armando Duca. Armando Broja has completed the recovery phase. We expect him to be on the bench with Chelsea this week. That is ready to return to the field. Guys, how do we feel about the return of these two players? Very much needed.
It's nice. Actually, with Broja, it's quite nice because we do need that backup striker. Like, we don't have any. I feel like we've got no backup striker. I can't think of any. So it's kind of nice. But who's the first one you say?
David Washington at the moment. He's been on the bench.
Oh, him? Yeah. No, yeah, I don't know.
But at the moment, I said so. Not long term.
No, Broja, I did want to see him what he can do at Chelsea. He had that one decent game where he scored against, was it Southampton? I forgot.
Wolves.
Yeah, Wolves. Yeah, it's a nice goal. I did want to see what he can do, but off the bench because he obviously doesn't deserve the start over Jackson. Who was the other entry before him? I forgot what he said.
Badiashile.
Oh, but yeah, I think we need him actually. He looked really good last season, so yeah, that's good to see from me. He's a great centre back. He's a great we scouted him, and I had no idea who he was. So yeah.
With Badiashile back, do you guys reckon that maybe we start seeing two centre backs instead of three?
All I'm saying is I can't wait for Badiashile to play left back against Villa.
Oh, Lord of mercy! Oh my God!
if I fucking see Badiashile, 6'5" Badiashile on left back, I will stop.
All I'm saying is, I would not be surprised. I would
be so mad.
Screw that. With his height, he'll play up front.
Oh my!
Also, on these two signings, I don't mean
ability up front.
on these two guys, I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, but I don't care. Not because I don't care about the two players, because I do. But it's more of a case of them coming back doesn't fix anything about our team. Like I said, both of them will come back. Broja will go on the bench, and Badiashile will probably play left back. And it doesn't fix anything. The problems are still there. We still have no number 10. We still have Chilwell left wing. That was this is the problem. Is the only guys out that we're supposedly missing that are going to make a difference to this team are Chukwuemeka and Nkunku.
Yeah, I would say that's a big difference.
Players.
But I mean, I want to 100% agree with you, Scott. But part of me also thinks that part of what's holding us back is these three center backs. I really genuinely think.
But why is that going to change why is that going to change when Badiashile comes back?
I feel like if we can, if we can drop the Sassi or a Colwill and play with two center backs, Badiashile and Thiago Silva, for example, why not? And then maybe we can get away with not playing Chilwell at the left wing. Maybe we can actually
hang on. Why isn't he doing that now? He's got the ability to do that now.
I don't think he trusts Axel or Levi to just be partnered with just Thiago Silva by himself.
Didn't he do that in preseason?
Not with Disasi, because he wasn't here yet.
No, with Colwill he did.
Yeah, Colwill was in the back line, yeah.
Yeah, we played a centre-back partnership of Silva and Colwill.
And then you had Gusto tucking in from right back, right?
But then I think we also had Chilwell left back in that game as well. I would like to see Cucurella at left back.
Either way, we play both of them, and this is the point. It's like whichever way you look at it, Marshall, we have the ability to play with 2 centre backs now. We have the ability, and people can say what they want in terms of, oh, why would he play? You know, or you can say, oh, you can't play Cole and Disassi together. A, we don't know that. Never played together as a partnership. B, I'd rather see that and look like you're building towards something and there be bumps in the road, rather than what we're doing now and there be really big bumps in the road. Like we're stopped. That's how big the bumps are.
But the thing as well is that the 3 centre-back thing is not even a problem. And I've gone on about this before, but I'm going to give an example from today. Look at how Brighton battered Manchester United today. Veltman, Van Haker, and Dunk, 3 centre-backs in a back 4. You can play good football in that way. So I would not call that a problem. It's the lack of a 10, and it's the left wing. Those are the problems.
Fair enough.
I wouldn't say we're worse than United for sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't say we're worse than United.
We can actually overtake tomorrow, and we've been in diabolical form as well.
We need to beat Bournemouth first. We're as bad.
Yeah,
We're
it's like mid versus mid.
Also, by the way, Chris, taking over this United's not a boast. Do you know what I mean? Like it was before.
That's shocking. Do you guys see Hannibal celebrating? Oh my god, that was.
You see, I don't know.
Big moment for him.
Right. The thing is, that's his first ever goal.
Yeah.
I know, but
I've got no issue with that. And they were 3-0 down anyway. It was in the last 10 minutes. So
I just think you got to read the room a little bit. I don't know.
I mean, I get where you're coming from. It is kind of fair to say that.
I think it's just scrutinized.
Yeah.
They're a mess anyway, like just in general.
Almost 50 of you guys watching. If you haven't done so already, smash up the likes. We are closing in on the end of the show. But we have a few more topics to discuss, so stick around and also subscribe if you're new to the channel. I think we're going to have some opinions on this because I don't like this. So let's discuss exiled players. Because apparently some players in this team are being exiled, and I'm not a fan of it. So let's go ahead and...
I'm going to shoot off.
Go ahead, Andrew. Do your thing, man. Thanks for coming on.
No problem, guys. Smash, like, do everything to this video in a legal way.
There you go.
Yeah. Tomorrow, I'm not listening off.
Tomorrow, same time.
Same time? Cool.
Yep.
All right, well, let's hope we win tomorrow. Listen, we all know what the starting lineup's going to be. Don't freak out. You know what I mean? Wait till the game's over to criticise stuff like that. Hope.
Yeah.
But you know what? I've got more hope of you changing your draft team than the actual...
I've been changing my draft team like every week. Don't you worry.
Your draft team sucks, man. That's what it is.
I think we all suck, but like I just look the most clearly.
I'm on for my 3rd straight win. All right.
There's a K a week, bro.
I beat average. I beat the average score.
Yeah, average is beating us all, unfortunately.
I think I've been you on a normal.
Not me. Not me. I got you next week in the draft as well.
Yeah, and it'd be funny if you lose to me, wouldn't it?
I'll kill myself. No way.
I'll be there.
I would be there.
Yeah.
All right, later. So we got some exiled players, and I'm not liking where this is going and what the approach is here. So, hearing quiet rumors stating that Cucurella and Ian Maatsen could be excluded from Chelsea squad for upcoming fixtures. Ian didn't accept a move to Burnley, and Cucurella was difficult to move on. I think it was difficult to move on, or remove. Marc Cucurella is facing Chelsea exile after a move to Manchester City United collapse. Manchester United, sorry. Move to Manchester United collapse. It's coming from Nazar Kinsella. Then we have more news from Nazar Kinsella. Conor Gallagher and Ian Maatsen are battling to convince Chelsea of their worth, having been put up for sale in the summer. Then, continuing on, Simon Phillips reporting what Fabrizio Romano has said. The feeling is that both Trevor Chalobah and Marc Cucurella are set to look for new clubs in January, but Chelsea denied players are being frozen out. Then we have Conor Gallagher is valued more for its potential sale price than on-pitch contributions by Chelsea hierarchy, coming from Liam Toomey, pretty reliable source, and I don't blame them for this take. I think Conor Gallagher could fetch a very pretty penny for Chelsea. And then Mauricio Pochettino confirms that Trevor Chalobah is in his plans. So a few things there that, Chelsea are denying that they're exiling players, but I mean, there is no smoke without fire, and I don't like this idea of exiling 2 left backs in the team. It just doesn't make sense to me.
If you're counting Maatsen as a left back, which with the way Poch has used him, I wouldn't.
Now, I don't know. What do you guys think about this? I think it's really unfair, to be honest, if it's true.
What's he's still in the plans?
Exiling Cucurella and Maatsen and Chalobah, for that matter, to be honest. I mean, Chalobah, you can kind of make sense, but
if it's true, it's bullshit. Just because, I don't want them to do this, but they should be doing the same to Gallagher then. If they see him if they don't see him as having, or they see him having more of a financial kind of positive term rather than an actual on pitch positive.
Yeah,
he should be getting the same treatment. I don't want him to, because it's not this is different to when Lukaku was getting it or Ziyech was getting it, just because they were especially Lukaku was acted like it was a parasite to the locker room. It was a problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas for all we know, all we've heard, these guys, especially Chalobah and Cucurella, from everything we've seen in terms of on social media and whatnot, these guys aren't. So as I said, if it's true, it's bullshit. Obviously, we have to wait and see to see if it's true.
Part of what makes me think it's not true is that, it's been very well touted. We all know this, that the club want to get rid of Gallagher. Yet, despite that, Poch is still playing him.
Poch likes him.
I just don't know. That's why I said.
And then again,
a lot of it is.
And then again, okay, I know we can take the preseason with a grain of salt, but part of me also thinks Poch was playing Chalobah up until he got hurt pretty frequently, and he even gave him the captain's armband. So he sees him as a leader in the dressing room as well. So I think that was more just based on the players on the pitch. You're not gonna give the captain's armband to Santos or Cassidy or these guys. Mm-hmm.
I think that lineup at the time he was given the captain's armband, because I don't think he started with it, and if he did, then fair enough. But I think the lineup in that context, it would have been very young, and very young, and B, the players wouldn't have been at Chelsea for very long. There's not enough experience of being at the club. He probably would have been one of the more senior Chelsea players in that.
I think it was Chelsea versus Wrexham where he was given the captaincy.
Maybe. But that
Cucurella was there, Cassidy, Santos, Moreira, Chukwuemeka.
Well, like I said, Chalobah's been at the club longer than Cucurella and all those names you mentioned.
Yeah, you're right. But yeah, it's I just don't like that situation, especially when Maatsen's shown all of us how good he's been despite playing in a position that's not even his position, left wing. Playing really well there. We all thought he was a left back coming into the preseason.
With Maatsen, it seems like the problem is the contract, but this is confusing me because wasn't it the report that we had a clause to extend by a year?
That's what I heard too.
Yeah, so I don't know what the rush is to get him to sign a contract extension right now. How about you give him a bit of game time this season and sort of let him get his feet wet a little bit and let him see where he stands in the squad, and then maybe we can all come to a more fair and sensible decision.
You know what it could be, Oliver, is I think if you make him sign a contract before January, if you do intend to sell him in January, he'll fetch for a much better price on a newer, longer contract.
Or maybe what it is, maybe he's kind of smelt the coffee. Chalobah got given a 6-year contract extension. We tried to move him on. Hall got offered one, didn't sign it. But he got offered one, and then a week later he was gone to Newcastle. Maybe from his perspective, he just doesn't see the value in signing a contract. That's just my speculation. That could be a factor because those aforementioned examples did happen and they're documented.
By the way, Hall's got a contract. Hall signed a new contract.
Oh, he signed it. Did it get announced?
Yeah, he signed a new contract, and then we got rid of him.
Oh, more credence to my point.
Yeah, and I listen. As much as I think Cucurella will come good, I think he's very much a victim of the circumstances. I'm not gonna lie. Comes in as a bully pick, right? Then now we have the most, what's the word I'm looking for? Crazy season we've ever had. We go through 3 managers. We have the worst record Chelsea history, and he's going through personal shit. On top of that, just not having the best games, chopping and changing the lineup constantly. I don't know. I feel like Cucurella, I would like to give him time in this team, but now it seems that with the directors, it's a possibility that they just don't see him as fitting what the mold is going to be going forward, whatever the project is going to be. Maybe he's surplus to requirements as well, and maybe there's no room for him going into this team or whatever Poch wants to do with the team. It sucks. And also, like, he was other than Sterling, who else have we kept from that summer window? No one, right? Other than Cucurella and Sterling. Carney, yeah.
But that's long term.
Yeah, it was a long term plan.
Any seniors? I don't think so.
So it's almost like this, inclination
Fafana,
to get rid of
young as well.
Yeah, it's almost just like this inclination to get rid of those summer transfers, So I don't know. I feel like it's unfair what's going on to Cucurella, and the way the fan base is treating him as well.
I felt like he never had a fair chance actually last season either. Like, he had that illness, he's going through like quite a lot of it, and he didn't really.
He got burgled, didn't he? As well.
He did. I'm pretty sure he is the one. Yeah, he did. So he just had a bit of a
tough tonsillitis as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The illness, like he had, because he lost a lot of weight too because of it. What probably affected him. So yeah, I don't think he had a really fair chance last season. This season, I felt like we could have used him, but like clubs want him as well. Like, I'm pretty sure there's a few clubs who was interested in Cucurella. Like, I don't think Cucurella is a bad player. Like, I think he's a decent left back. I want to see what he can do under Poch and nothing, but maybe Poch doesn't want him. I don't know. Like, maybe in training we just don't see something. Like, he might be lazy or he's just not doing enough in training for Poch. I just don't know. I just want to see him like actually play a game.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a really weird one for him, and I don't think I'm settling. I think Cucurella is a very good player. It's just we haven't put him in the best spotlight and the best opportunities to. I think I didn't watch the game, right? I've seen some clips and highlights here. I think for Wimbledon, he had a pretty decent game.
From the highlights, it looked very, very good. Yeah. And the stats came out afterwards. He had a 95% passing accuracy.
Yeah, so I don't think he's been bad this preseason and in that Wimbledon game.
Oh no, I think he was pretty bad in the preseason. I do think he was.
He cost us both those goals.
Both left backs were.
Yes. Yeah,
that's
exactly.
The key thing.
So I don't know. It's such a weird situation. I would like for them to be given a chance to fight for their spot, and it also doesn't make sense because what happens if Levi gets injured, or if we decide to play Chilwell back and left back, what happens if he gets injured as well?
This is the thing. Like, with Levi at centre back, this is why I'm interested, because you don't have to upend the whole team to bring Cucurella in, because you've got Chilwell there who's already playing as a defensive left back, and that's what Cucurella is. Whereas if you want to move Chilwell back to left back, you've got to upend it all because he wants to bomb forward and underlap the winger or whatever he does, his weird stuff.
So yeah, we'll see what happens with these players. Moving forward with this topic and focusing more on Chalobah, let's see what we got here in terms of this player. So Trevor Chalobah is recovering well from hamstring injury and is hoping to be available again early next month, which is good to see. I would like to see him as an option. And to be frank, I would like to see him rotate with Disasi, but we'll discuss that more. Then we have here Trevor Chalobah is considered surplus to requirements and could be frozen out of Chelsea. Again, reiterating the story that Nazar Cancel was saying earlier. Trevor Chalobah faces being exiled from the Chelsea squad. The defender has been told there is a chance he will not play for the club again this season, and has asked if he can play for the under 21, under 23s once he returns from injuries in order to keep his fitness levels up. coming from Bobby Vincent. Then Trevor Chalobah's initial £50 million asking price was deemed too expensive for his suitors. Chalobah is aiming for a club of similar standing of Chelsea, with Bayern not ruling out another loan approach in January. And Liam Toomey reporting, Chelsea made it clear throughout the summer and on deadline day that they wanted to sell Chalobah, but there haven't been any suggestions he'll be frozen out until January. And then last tweet I have here is Pochettino denies stories about Trevor Chalobah frozen out. Of course, he's part of my plans. Yes, I am Chelsea. I am the coach, and his future is going to be involved in my plan. No one is going to decide for me. That being said, guys, what do you think about what Pochettino said? Do you think he's being honest? Do you think there will be room for Chalobah going forward?
Well, let's think about it. Is he going to come out in a press conference and say, yeah, he's frozen out? Is he going to do that?
Well, the thing is, like, he didn't hesitate to say or beat around the bush when it comes to Lukaku, right? When it came to Lukaku, he always said, like, oh, well, the club has a plan and all this and whatever the club wants to do. But
Lukaku did that to himself. That's I think it's a very different situation.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that, like, if Pochettino or if the board are telling Poch, we need you to freeze this player out, we're gonna try to sell him, don't play him, whatever, then, you know, if Poch were inclined to agree, then he's probably gonna be like, yeah, the Chalobah, we're gonna do what's best for the player, we're gonna see there's a plan for Chalobah and yada yada yada. You know, the club has...
No, but freezing, there's a difference there, because what is best for the player is a transfer, but the transfer window's over now, so freezing him out does nothing good for him. That's not in the best interest of the player at all. So, you know what I mean? Like, he's just not going to bring that into the public domain. It would not be smart as a manager to do that. It could risk losing the dressing room this early on already, because I'm sure he's well liked in the squad. You just can't do these kind of things. I don't think his comments matter at all.
Yeah, I mean, do you guys think there is a spot for him in this team? Maybe he comes in and plays a few games. Do you think that's even going to be possible?
Nope. Too many.
I don't think he's going to get a lot of game time. I think he should. Like, this kind of goes back to something I was saying earlier in terms of Disassi. Obviously, it's early in his career, but for what we've seen so far, I don't think he's an upgrade on Chalobah. Like, apart from maybe his passing, which I'll be completely honest, is cool and all, but I think he makes as many mistakes defensively as people were getting at Chalobah before.
I agree.
On the ball, he didn't seem too great either, Scott. Like, Chalobah looked better on the ball over Disassi.
I mean, like, on the ball, he's looked good. Like, his passing is really good.
Disassi.
His passing is really good in terms of, like, his long passing and whatnot. But yeah, in terms of defending, I don't think he's been an upgrade on Chalobah so far. Obviously, there is a chance for him to get better, but as of right now, I don't think he's been an improvement. So this is where it kind of sucks. If he was a massive improvement on Chalobah, I think there could be like a different discussion around it all. There probably would be a different conversation, or there would be a different kind of feeling about it all. But I think the fact that he's come in, I don't think he's been an improvement, at least defensively, on Chalobah so far. I think is kind of where it gets. But I don't see... The problem I think with Chalobah is I don't see where he gets minutes. I just don't see where he gets minutes. And like, unless you're going to drop Disassi, but if you're going to drop Disassi, like, so much of it is not necessarily down to Chalobah. It's down to Poch and what he wants the team going forward. Like, if he's ever going to switch to this, like, if he's ever going to go back and having two actual centre backs in a back two, or if he's going to continue with the three centre backs in a back four, then it depends. Because if he goes to like just two centre backs, then I could argue if you can find a way to make it work, I'd argue that the best partnership you could do is probably Chilwell Staying. And that's with that's with everyone fit. I agree. They're the best two centre backs for me that are at the club in terms of whether that be right now or ceiling. So even when everyone's fit, there may not be a chance for Chalobah. Even with players injured, I don't know if there's a chance for Chalobah again. So much of this just comes down to Poch and what he's trying to do. Because there might be a place for Chalobah. If he's going to continue doing this free centre-back thing, there may be a place for Chalobah.
That's what I'm saying. Because I'm thinking, like, I could see Chalobah coming back from injury, and maybe there'll be some select games. And maybe I'm giving Pochettino too much credit, right? But I could see Pochettino strategically picking what he wants in his back I don't want to say back three, but and his defensive line, depending on what game and what the physicality is required for that game. So I could see Chalobah being rotated in and out with Disasi. We don't know because he's been injured this whole time, so it's hard to say. But I think this player is a good player. Is he top class, world class? No, but neither is Disasi. And we don't have Wesley Fofana to come back. I think Thiago Silva slowly but surely he needs to start getting phased out. So maybe he needs to start being phased out, I should say. But yeah, I don't know. Any final words on this, guys?
No, he's definitely a good player. And to be honest, a lot of people made fun of that 50 million tag. I think that's actually a lot fairer than people give it credit for. Chalobah's a very, very underrated player. And yeah, I just don't see where the minutes are going to come for him. If we're going to say everyone's fit besides Fofana, he's sixth choice centre back.
Yeah.
And Marshall, as much as you say, he can rotate with Disasi. What about Silva? Silva's going to get more priority over him, I reckon. So it's just not realistic, and it's a shame. I don't really know where I stand on it because I can see parts of. People have argued, as much as he's getting phased out right now, he had an opportunity to leave, and I can see that to an extent. I just feel like he's been too good of a player for us, and he's not been a legend or anything, but he's been consistent enough to deserve better treatment than this.
I will say too, I know he could have moved to another club, but I gotta respect his confidence that he wants to play at the highest level. I mean, he wants to play for Bayern, and it almost worked out. We just ran out of loans, really. That's I think if we weren't short on that if we were able to sell Lukaku, right, and we were able to outright sell Ziyech, I think then the loan to Bayern happens. I don't know if you guys agree with that, but I genuinely think the loan to Bayern happens.
Yeah,
maybe.
I can see that because, like you said, two senior players who wouldn't be loaned would have been sold and we had more spots. Because I don't think we have any real use for. I don't think we have any real use for Chalobah this season. I actually didn't want to buy another centre back because I thought Chalobah was enough.
Yeah, I agree.
I had no intentions of buying another centre back. It didn't make any sense unless Disasi is a really good centre back and he becomes a world class centre back first. Then fair enough, of course. But yeah. It's a shame what's happened with Chalobah. Chalobah did do post that he's never going to give up or whatever, but good. I say good luck to him.
Yeah, I wish him the best. I don't think he deserves this kind of treatment either. But it's football under this board and this season for Chelsea is going to be brutal. So let's go on to the final topic. And if you are still here, make sure you are smashing up the like button. Let us know in the comments if you made it all the way to the end of the show. Then here we go. Faith in Ugochukwu. So I thought this was an interesting thing to land on. Positive note. Ugochukwu had some words to say, but before we get to that, Mauricio Pochettino apparently blocked the loan exit for new Chelsea signing Leslie Ugochukwu as he is keen to keep an eye on his development. And then Leslie Ugochukwu has this to say on joining Chelsea. Someone still tells me, "You're young. Why did you go to Chelsea?" And his answer was, "There are trains that don't pass twice." I respect it. And I think I think it's true. I think an opportunity to play at Chelsea doesn't come very often. I think he understands this is a big club and it's got potential to be big. But I thought it was interesting to see that Poch blocked the move for Leslie and not the move for Andre Santos. So that being said, I mean, I could see why. I think Leslie, how many seasons does Leslie have at Rennes? I mean, just one season of experience alone.
I'll put it into perspective, Marshall. He's got more senior minutes as a senior player than Lavia. Okay. He's more experienced than Lavia.
And in turn, also more experienced than Santos. Is he better than Santos? That's to be debated. That's to be seen, right? And, obviously Santos still has a lot more room to develop. But, I mean, I do want to see Leslie play a little more often, especially if we want to go without Lavia. Any minutes that Lavia was going to get, I think are going to go to Leslie now until he gets back. So I don't know. What are your thoughts, guys, on Ugochukwu?
Really, I really wish I could. I really wish that the Wimbledon game was broadcast, because that was his only start so far. And
yeah, apparently he looked good in that game too.
From all accounts, he seems like a really tidy player. No complaints. There were no complaints that I came across, certainly from the accounts that I read. So I hope we see him soon. Maybe against Brighton in the Carabao Cup coming up soon. I don't know, but yeah, apparently he was good in the Wimbledon game. Just wish we could have seen it, but hey ho.
Yeah. Anyone else have any final thoughts on Leslie?
Not particularly. Yeah, not.
Did you rate the signing?
I rated the signing in terms of he had a lot of kind of plaudits when he joined. It's one of those. It's a similar one where I'm just trusting the. I'm kind of just seeing where where it goes with the signing. It's similar to the other signings we've made, whether that be Disassi, whether that be kind of how it was with Badiashile when he came in, just kind of seeing where it goes, because he could be excellent, he could be terrible. He's looked good in the few minutes I've seen him play. He's looked pretty good. But yeah, I'm just gonna kind of wait and see how he performs.
Yeah, I agree. Chris?
He does. I was gonna say, wow, he maybe gets more of an opportunity now since Lavia's injured, so we might have minutes.
I would hope so.
I do hope to see him more minutes, especially for the Carabao Cups and FA Cups. See what he can do there. He looks like a unit of a DM now. He's a big guy.
Oh, he's humongous. Yeah.
If he's good on the ball and everything, and a destroyer in that midfielder, we could have a good midfielder here. I don't know.
I think he's comfortably our tallest midfielder.
Oh,
correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh,
yeah, he is.
He's 6'3" or something.
And I think he's joint tallest player in the team with Badiashile. Badiashile might be the tallest player in the team.
I think Badiashile is 6'4". I think he's got the edge just on.
Actually,
by a bit.
You can't expect that.
Oh no, isn't the tallest Sanchez actually?
Yeah, but we don't count real keepers, do we?
Oh, all right, fair enough.
Outfielders.
I don't know. How tall is Sanchez?
6'5".
6'5", 6.
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
yeah,
never mind.
I know he doesn't look that tall right now in goal because he's just a
well, you see it with the way he claims. He's got the wingman for it and all that. Yeah,
he's a big dude.
Yeah, but we'll see what happens. I hope we get more playtime for him. I hope we see what becomes of this player, and we get to see him play and help us out, I would say. But yeah, guys, that's the show. That's it today. We finally have some Premier League to look forward to again. Yeah, I know. I did say it was going to be a jam-packed show. I had to delete some stuff as well because we got into some pretty big topics. Begovich, triggered all of us, so that took up a good amount of time. But
I love that.
That being said, ladies and gents, we're wrapping it up here. Make sure to smash up the like buttons if you haven't done so already. Be sure to subscribe if you also haven't done so. 69% of you do watch the channel, are not subscribed. So help us out. We're on our way to 3K. Hit the bell notification so you don't miss out when we do go live. Also, be sure to leave a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts on everything that we discussed today. Check out the links in the description. And check out our memberships. Shout outs to the proper casual and hired members. That'd be Winter Surfer, OG Turbo Jesus, Dark, Scott, Adrian, and Will. Appreciate you guys for your support and appreciate the support of every single member that is in the chat as well. Big up to you guys. The more members we get, the more emojis, the more perks, and all that fun stuff that I can give you guys. So thank you guys so much for the support. Y'all have a wonderful night. We will be back tomorrow, same time, to discuss the game, and hopefully we'll be discussing a win, and hopefully we'll be discussing Chilwell left back and Mudryk at left wing. Who knows? So guys, have a wonderful night. Thank you so much for being here, and stay casual. Peace.